At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paiswell Forbes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jimenita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's Thursday, April 3rd, and you're tuned in to the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jimenita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. Big news today as President Donald Trump's new tariffs on imports have sent shockwaves through the global economy. The stock markets are reeling with major indices in the U.S., Europe, and Asia taking a significant hit. Investors are nervous, and economists are warning that these tariffs could push U.S. inflation higher as businesses may pass on costs to consumers. Countries around the world are already hinting at retaliation, threatening to add even more fuel to the trade fire. It's a tense moment on Wall Street, and the global economic landscape is definitely on edge. Well, back here at home, Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alcides is weighing in on the 10% tariff recently imposed by President Donald Trump on most Caribbean nations, including the Bahamas. Speaking at the weekly press briefing, Alcides said the government is taking a wait-and-see approach. He doesn't expect much impact as little is exported from the Bahamas to the U.S. However, he did acknowledge the potential for the escalating global trade war to disrupt the economy. The plan, he says, is to collaborate with CARICOM partners to navigate the issue together. And today's the day you've all been waiting for. Don't go to work unless it's a fun day. Yep, this holiday is all about putting the fun back in the workday, created to remind us that while we're getting things done, we can still enjoy ourselves in the process. The idea, lighten up with games, quirky office challenges, or just letting loose with your team. Why isn't it every day? Well, we'd probably all end up working in pajama-clad playing chaos. And let's face it, someone's got to get the work done. So if your office isn't having fun today, maybe it's time to shake things up a bit. Well, we have a jam-packed show for you today. Another Carifta athlete is with us to talk about his journey. Also, the summer months are approaching and keeping cool is essential. We have some tips for you and much more on what's trending after the break. Stay with us.
diet-friendly special.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that can take them further in life.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lapinder.
Today, we introduce you to another shining Bahamian athlete. Zion Davis is a track and field star who has qualified in the under-20 boys 400 and 400-meter hurdles and will be running in both trial events. He's representing Queens College and delivering a notable performance in various competitions. Zion joins us on What's Trending today. Congratulations and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you here. So, Zion, tell us, how confident are you about competing in the trials this weekend, even though you've already qualified for Carifto?
I would say I'm very confident. First and foremost, I give all the praise to God for putting me in this position. I have strong belief and great faith that I will be able to compete to the best of my ability.
Oh, that sounds good. So how are you preparing for the upcoming competition? Obviously the one on the weekend, and then after that you head off to Carifto once you're successful. But talk to us about what goes into your preparations.
First thing that goes into my preparation is my eating habits. Usually before I compete, I try to change my eating habits at least like 2 weeks to a month before I compete. And also, me and my coach, he loaded me a lot to peak me to run fast for Carifto and Carifto trials, but the main focus is Carifto, obviously. So yeah, so.
Okay, sounds like a lot you have going on. So what inspired you, Zion, to get into track and field?
The first thing that inspired me to get into track and field was that I had a lot of brothers that competed in sports. I was the only one that didn't have a particular sport. They each had a sport, multiple sports. Both of my brothers, I'm the only one that did track only. I competed in track and field only, but my two other brothers competed in multiple sports. And I was the only one that was really passionate about the one sport, because my brothers had other sports, but I was really passionate about track, so I just...
So you wanted to make a mark for yourself on the track?
That's right.
Okay, that makes sense. And so who has been your biggest influence or mentor when it comes to your athletic journey?
I would say my parents and also my aunt, Natasha Isla, my therapist also. She has been a great influence on me.
So it sounds like you have a great support system behind you.
That's what I do. Coming from everywhere.
Okay. So can you talk us through then a typical day of training? You talked earlier about the change in your diet, you know, the additional efforts your coach puts in, but talk to us a little bit about what that training looks like on a typical day for you.
On a typical day, my training, Mondays, I usually warm up. Then I have either 300-meter hurdles, race pace, then I have gym on Monday. Usually 7:30, leaving the track.
So it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a combination of, sprints, a lot of sprints, and then the gym, I imagine, is the weight component to it?
So,
Okay, so do you enjoy all of this? Because it seems like you have to be really committed to what you're doing to get the results that you want.
yes, ma'am. You really have to be committed in this. If you don't really have the drive for yourself, then you wouldn't have no type of outcome on what you want. You have to have a goal in mind and see through it. You really have to push yourself.
So then with all of this happening, how do you balance, say, your school life, your academics, your personal life? How do you balance and juggle all these things, still wanting to become this great athlete?
That's a good question. Firstly, I try to involve some of my friends inside my personal track life. Try to bring them out at the track meets, talk to them and stuff, because usually track takes up my whole entire week, so I really don't have time to go out and be with them. So I try to at least invite them to a few of my meets so I can at least see them weekly.
Okay. That sounds like fun. So you keep a good balance to everything that you do. And what about your schoolwork?
When I reach home, I try my best to do my work, and also in the morning, I usually reach the school like 7 a.m., so I try my best to cram as much work as possible. Because, practice after school is going to take a lot of time.
But you sound like you're a very busy student. I guess that's the life for athletes and well, student athletes, I should say.
Athletes, yes, ma'am.
Wow, that sounds like a lot. So what advice would you give to other athletes, I guess similarly in your shoes, hoping to, go off to Carifta, represent their country, and just being the best that they're able to be in their sport?
The first thing I would tell them is to put God first in everything that they do. Without God, I don't think any other athlete would be where they are right now without God. And then secondly, I would tell them to always be determined, that do not compare yourself to nobody else. Put first things first. So you should always prioritize the thing that you want the most. If you're really passionate about track, you should prioritize it. So that means no skipping workouts, anything that the coach do, trust him, believe that he can bring the best out of you.
That's some good advice there. So you told me that you are a 12th grader at QC. What is your next plans? Like once you finish with QC, you plan to head off to school, you plan to continue in your track career. Tell us a little bit about that.
I plan to go to college, most likely a D1 university, hopefully, for a ride scholarship also, and pursue my track career.
What are you going to study?
I will study journalism and sports management.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And obviously, what excites you most about competing in track and field?
The crowd excites me the most, especially the junkin'. When I hear that junkin' music, just the adrenaline inside of me builds up. I just get excited, like I just want to jump with the blocks.
so it kind of warms you up to give a good race.
Yes, ma'am.
But why journalism? I mean, in terms of your your
media.
Future interests.
Sports media.
Sports media, that's what you like about it.
Yes, ma'am.
What interested you in that? I guess because it's your field, I mean, in terms of the athletic aspect that you do, or is there a specific interest about it?
Sports media is like, I could come on ZNS, for instance, and be the sports show talk also. That'd be fun.
So that's what you're gearing up for.
I like to talk about sports, so.
Okay, so you're getting a little warm up in right now, I guess. Well, it was great chatting with you today, Zion. All the best in the trials on the weekend, and I'm sure you'll be fine and headed off to Carifta with your fellow athletes.
That's what I'm hopefully.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And get ready for some cool summer tips when we come back. You're watching What's Trending.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
Well, the summer months will certainly be scorching, but get ready for some special ways to cool down the temperature. Now, of course, we're all getting ready for summer and we want to stay cool, but there are some tips you need to keep in mind. First, locate and call a professional AC company or a certified AC technician, not a handyman, not a building contractor, not an electrician. Make certain that the indoor unit or the air handler unit filters are cleaned, washed, and free of dust or obstruction. Check the humidity drainage system or drain to ensure the free flow of water from the air handler to the outside. Have air duct checks for any air leakage from the air duct system. Also ensure the air handler panel and screws are secured and tightly in place. And definitely you want to make certain that you have windows that can be secured to prevent hot air from entering air-conditioned spaces. Make sure Armorflex or insulation tubing covers the low side or suction refrigerant piping or tubing. For more tips, visit Cooltech on Tonic Williams-Darling Highway or email them at sales@cooltechbahamas.com. Store hours are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:45 p.m., 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Saturdays, and they are closed on Sundays. The telephone contact is 341-4665 or 467-5663. Cooltech, technology to keep you cool.
Hi everyone, when heading to Florida to shop for your essentials, book your transportation with GoGoFlorida.com. The $100 cash deposit is back now on your debit card. Accepted at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Now there are lots of options to choose from, but I like the Tesla X, the electric vehicle, because I don't have to worry about gassing up. Or the Jeep Compass seating 5 with lots of space for your luggage or shopping bags. For the best deals, book now at GoGoFlorida.com, BahamasAir.com, and also available at Bahamas Air Sales Office.
Here in the Caribbean region, our climate is changing, resulting in intense heat as temperatures soar. This increase in temperature is having a significant impact on our energy sector.
With the increase in temperatures, we, of course, are expecting an increase in the use of electricity or cooling, etc. So there's an increased demand on the utility companies to, provide for that overload on their systems.
The hotter it gets, the more energy need there is for cooling among the population, but also the harder it becomes for electricity to be produced. So the efficiency of electricity production is typically also lower when it's really hot.
But there are ways we can help. Simple actions can make a big difference.
There are certain measures that we can take to make sure that we mitigate some of the possible impacts, such as using LED bulbs.
It's up to all of us to take proactive steps. Stay informed and prepared. Together, we can weather this storm. For more information and updates, follow CIMH on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
For all you movie lovers who appreciate a good score, this one is just for you. Today is National Film Score Day. It's celebrated to honor the incredible music that accompanies films, enhancing the storytelling and emotional impact. Film scores are a crucial part of the cinematic experience, elevating scenes and adding depth to the visual. The day celebrates composers who craft the music that becomes inseparable from iconic films. It's also a tribute to how film scores help shape how audiences experience movies, whether it's heightening suspense, creating a sense of wonder, or pulling on the heartstrings. And so today we have a list of movies with some of the most iconic film scores. At number 5, we have Star Wars, with composer John Williams creating the Imperial March and the main theme are among the most iconic film music ever produced. Williams' score made the Star Wars universe feel grand, thrilling, and timeless. Next up at number 4 is The Godfather. Composer Nino Rota created the hauntingly beautiful and melancholic theme of The Godfather, perfectly capturing the complex emotions of the film and its characters. Who can forget this next favorite from composer John Williams? Simple yet terrifying. The two-note motif for the shark in Jaws has become one of the most recognizable pieces of film music in history, building tension and fear. Of course, who could forget 1997's Titanic? Coming in at number 2, composer James Horner's sweeping emotional score enhanced the romance and tragedy of the film with the song My Heart Will Go On, becoming an anthem of love and loss. And topping our list of movies with iconic musical score is The Lion King. Composer Hans Zimmer created a masterpiece mixing African rhythms with powerful orchestration to evoke the epic journey of Simba. The music perfectly complements the film's themes of life, death, and destiny. Well, a good movie would not be complete without a bite to eat. And guess what? It's National Burrito Day. Yes, folks, it's that time of year when we all come together to celebrate the magical combination of tortillas, rice, beans, and all those extra fillings that make burritos the perfect meal, no matter how much you've got going on in your day. Now, what exactly is National Burrito Day? Well, it's a fun annual celebration which falls on the first Thursday of April, dedicated to one of the world's most popular and portable foods. Think of it as a party for your taste buds, where anything goes, whether you're all about the classic beef burrito or you're living on the wild side with a breakfast burrito, because who couldn't or wouldn't want scrambled eggs with salsa? Today is the day to go all out and treat yourself to burrito bliss. Why do we celebrate it? Simple, because burritos are awesome. They're a fiesta wrapped in a tortilla, and let's be real, what's better than a handheld meal that can be as simple or as fancy as you like? They're customizable, they're satisfying, and they're basically an edible hug for your soul. But wait, how can you get in on the burrito action? First off, why not host a burrito bar at home? Invite your friends over, grab all the fillings you can find, and let everyone build their own custom burrito. You can have all the classics: grilled chicken, guacamole, pico de gallo, or get creative with toppings like jalapenos, hot sauce, and hey, why not throw in some French fries for that crispy twist? If you're really feeling adventurous, try something totally out of the box like a sushi burrito. Yes, that's a thing. Or maybe a dessert burrito with chocolate, marshmallows, and cinnamon sugar. Because why not turn your burrito into a sweet treat? It's like your favorite dessert wrapped up in a tortilla, waiting to surprise you. So whether you're celebrating solo or with friends or turning it into a family fiesta, National Burrito Day is your chance to indulge in one of the most loved foods on the planet. Don't miss out. Wrap up your day in burrito style. Happy National Burrito Day, everyone. What's trending? We'll be back in a moment.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Diet-friendly special.
Good to go. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, that is good to grow.
A town hall meeting provided an opportunity for stakeholders to voice their opinions on key issues affecting the industry, including food security, sustainability, and government support for local producers.
I'm sure it doesn't take me to tell you Exuma has historically been a bedrock of agriculture within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The onions that came from Exuma are known internationally, worldwide, and so, you know, a young whippersnapper like myself is not coming to Exuma to tell you guys anything that you don't know. But what we are indeed coming here to do is to ensure that you know that you have the full support of the government of the Bahamas through the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources as it relates to farming and fishing issues and all of the other issues canvassed by both directors.
Among the key topics discussed were advancements in sustainable farming techniques, the expansion of marine conservation efforts, and potential funding opportunities for local businesses in the sector.
So I see opportunities for creating linkages to tourism. We like to talk about how we are creating records in tourism. We can keep more money home, more money in the Bahamas. We can feed ourselves well. If we are able to create those linkages, create opportunities for farm to the table, create opportunities for fish houses and providing fish to not just residents, but tourists, hotels, Airbnbs as well. This is a great opportunity to advance into containerized farming, for example, to provide vegetables and leafy greens for all of the islands of Exuma.
Local farmers and fishers alike left with a renewed sense of trust in the government's efforts and excited for the future of agriculture.
Well, I feel I got a lot of information and answers that I wanted. It was very informative. Yeah, I feel it's a step ahead.
You know, it's a great start, and we give thanks to the ministers who come through and start to put some money back into this stuff, because for decades, there wasn't no funding and no help like that, you know.
I was able to learn about what they intend to do. I believe that we need a little more help on the island in terms of trying to get to the next level of farming.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Agriculture plays an important yet underrated role in the economies of Caribbean islands. While not completely self-sustaining, it plays a vital role in enhancing food security. Climate variables such as unpredictable rainfall patterns and excessive heat often cause farmers to face unprecedented challenges.
Where there is the expectation of increased heat, that can affect the development of the crops, of the livestock, as well as for dairy production. We can see a decrease in the dairy production. Heat also plays an effect on human health as well. We would want to ensure that farmers wear protective clothing, make sure that they keep themselves well hydrated, shift the hours, of the exposure outside. That is an option as well that you can look at.
While certain regions may experience prolonged droughts, predictions also raise concerns regarding heavy rainfall, hurricanes, and flooding.
The expected increases in the tropical cyclone activity, those strong winds can have an impact on your crops. That can have an impact on your infrastructure. For the farmers, who would have the crops above ground for those periods of time, maybe you can plant some root crops, that's an option. So there's several things that the farmer can do, to adapt to our ever-changing climate.
Well, this show brings our week to a close, and we loved having you along for the ride. Well, that's all the time we have today. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their insights and stories with us. As always, we'll be back on Monday at 6 p.m. with more exciting guests, thought-provoking conversations, and a lot of laughs only on the ZNS Network. See you later.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. Was Hiram Lewis's move to the COI a political gamble? We have the details. Also, the Central Grand Bahama MP says the FNM party lacks unity. And an insider of Creators Alliance Limited speaks out anonymously.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
I do believe that we will make a change, an effective change. We need something different.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news, the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama back on island after resigning from the Free National Movement and joining the Coalition of Independents in the House of Assembly. While some deem it political suicide, Lewis says this move is for the Bahamian people. Shalia Roll joins us live now with the latest. Shalia.
Things are looking much different this evening than they did this morning, Romiko, as members of COI gathered outside of the Western Air Terminal to welcome Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama back to the island and to their party. Now, just yesterday in the House of Assembly, Hiram Lewis announced his resignation from the Free National Movement and his walk over to the COI party, making history as he is the first sitting Member of Parliament for that party. Now, Hiram Lewis is making it clear on why he decided to leave the FNM. Lewis was greeted by members of the COI chanting, "Change is coming, change is here." The members showing unity through prayer and praise while clad in shirts representing the Coalition of Independents. Lewis shares what it means to now be a part of COI.
I do believe that we will make a change, an effective change. We need something different. We have tried both sides.
Hiram Lewis, two-time Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama and former Parliamentary Secretary for the FNM, says it was a painful move. However, according to the FNM Constituency Association, who recently wrote to the party requesting that the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama not be renominated into the party as a standard bearer.
No, I left the Free National Movement because I was not satisfied with what was going on. The level of disrespect, the level of undermining.
As Central Grand Bahama is considered a stronghold constituency for the Free National Movement, the question is, can Lewis retain the seat of COI candidate in the 2026 general election? This, as some have called the move, political suicide.
They missed the purpose and they look at the faces in the crowd. which did not matter to me. My purpose remained the same. I stood with the people then, and I will stand with the people now.
Some speculate that leader of the Free National Movement, Michael Pintard, will make a change from Marco City to run in Central Grand Bahama. Here is what Lewis had to say.
Either what Mr. Pintard will do, I wish him all the best. I have no idea, and I will not speak for him.
As for now, the celebration continues as members of the party sharing their excitement on now having a seat at the parliamentary table.
Well, I just want to say we accept Mr. R.M. Lewis. This is a change and a making of history.
Well, Lewis says that his plan is to hit the ground running from day one. Coming to you live from Western Air Terminal for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Shelia Roll. Back to you at the desk, Romiko.
Thanks so much, Aaliyah. Well, with yesterday's announcement of the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, R.M. Lewis, departing the Free National Movement Party to join the Coalition of Independence, the notice caught many by surprise, including the Free National Movement's Constituency Association. Our Matthew Martinborough spoke with association officials on the matter.
The F&M Central Grand Bahama Association gathering at the headquarters following the news of the area representative, R.M. Lewis' resignation to the Free National Movement yesterday. These supporters not mincing words on Lewis's sudden departure. From high fives to smiles and their two fingers in the air showcasing the F&M sign, constituents say they remain united despite Lewis's announcement to join the Coalition of Independence. These supporters are adamant that Lewis will not retain the Central Grand Bahama seat in the next general election under the COI banner.
The decision was surprising, but once it was made, it was easy to accept.
The F&M releasing a statement noting that this constituency association formally requested for Lewis to not be renominated in the next election. These members say the performance by Lewis is the main contributing factor.
I really couldn't say nothing exceptional that Mr. Lewis did in our area. I had no, so as far as I'm concerned, his service will never be missed in my opinion. So like I said, I wish him the best, but it's no miss, when one go, two come.
Now, rumors have been swirling around that the opposition leader, the Honorable Michael Pintard, may move from his Marco City constituency to run here in Central Grand Bahama, a constituency known to be a stronghold for the F&M. However, Assistant Treasurer for the Constituency Association, John Bevins, encourages the public to not pay attention to anything you may hear through social media or word of mouth as far as potential candidates are concerned.
It's a process, and that's up to the party. The party has not yet selected anybody, so it's just a matter of waiting until that process is complete. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, and we don't want persons to be misled by the things that are circulating on social media. When the party is ready to make that decision, the party would go ahead and announce that. You would have an official announcement of who the next representative for Central Grand Bahama would be.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Well, as the election season heats up, reports say that Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard has told former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis and Long Island Adrian Gibson will not be renominated. The question was asked to former Member of Parliament for F&M, R.M. Lewis, if he believes the F&M is united. Here's his response. Newscast. Switching gears now, there's still so much to uncover about Creators Alliance Limited. Tonight, we continue our investigation into the investment scheme that appears to have duped thousands of Bahamians out of their hard-earned money. In an exclusive interview, a longtime member of the platform, speaking anonymously, shares their perspective, acknowledging that while some suffered financial losses, many did see benefits. The member also reveals they've received threats since the platform's collapse and insists that everyone, including those deeply involved, was blindsided by what is now being called a massive scam.
I woke up the next morning, which was yesterday, to find that the groups, everything was dissolved, and the platform was still up for a minute, and then like midday or so, everything on the screen went white.
Shocked and confused, that's how one longtime member of Creators Alliance Limited describes the moment they realized that they could no longer contact the masterminds behind the platform, known as online managers. On Wednesday, April 2nd, all members were abruptly removed from the platform's WhatsApp group and the entire system became inaccessible. Now, many fear that they have fallen victim to a large-scale scam.
I don't know what to think. I feel the same way everybody else is feeling. I feel lost. I feel cheated. I feel like I was played.
This anonymous member, who played a key role in introducing others to the platform, says they are now facing backlash. Some believe they had inside knowledge of the collapse or were directly involved, claims that they strongly deny. The member says they were just as blindsided as everyone else and, due to mounting threats, had to seek police protection.
I don't know anything more than what anyone else know. I don't have any direct contact to anyone because the same numbers that I had was the same numbers everybody who joined had. Everyone had direct contact with the so-called Gwen.
Shortly after the platform went dark, an official notice surfaced allegedly from a manager named Shiro King. The message to the Creators Alliance community claimed the disappearance was due to an elaborate shift to a new system aimed at improving security, efficiency, and user experience. The notice further stated that the platform's founder, Mark Edo, reassured members that the disruption was a part of a carefully planned upgrade. But a crypto expert in the Bahamas isn't buying it, calling the release fake.
I researched Mark Edo. The only thing that came up was Mark Edo, a guy in South Africa who does something with the news. The Mark Edo person they're talking about doesn't exist. The locations that they had on their Google Maps, they do not exist.
As investigation continues, thousands remain in limbo, waiting for answers and their money.
A lot of people hurting because they did more than they really should have done. And so, of course, because the platform was paying, so I could understand why they did it.
Now back to the previous story. The question was asked whether Iram Lewis believes that the FNM is united. Here's his response.
Charlotte Bostwick, she's a senior person. She just spoke about it the other day. The party needs unity. And you can hear the cry of the land and bread of the party. Persons are dissatisfied. And like I said in Parliament, this is not the FNM that I grew up knowing. This is not the FNM that I knew. That's why I left. It's a departure from the basic principles. And now, with the COI, the principle remains, we are for the people. We are fighting for the people. That's and right. I stand with that.
Lewis also says that the Free National Movement that he sees today is not the one that he once believed in. Well, in other news, the Tourism Development Corporation is tapping into the religious market by hosting various conventions throughout the country. Here on Grand Bahama, religious conventions have brought in close to $1.5 million. Shalia Roll has that story.
The Tourism Development Corp, along with Social Military Education Fraternal Market, is making waves in the convention sector in the Bahamas as they host seminars throughout the nation, bringing in around $1.2 to $1.5 million, bringing a boost in the Bahamian tourism economy.
Hotel stay, you've got transportation, you've got departure tax, you've got food and beverage and all the other tours. And so this is why we are going very heavy after these markets in the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism.
In the last year, Grand Bahama hosted 3 major conventions, bringing in visitors from around the world. Stephen Johnson, the Director of Tourism Development Corporation and the Director of Smurfs, says that they are currently scouting to bring more conferences to the island.
Those markets pretty accounted for almost like $1.5 to $2 million worth of business in Grand Bahama. And so right now we're traveling around looking to get conferences for Grand Bahama. It's been positive.
To further develop the island, the Director for Tourism Development says that to make the island more authentic,
to make West End the official conch jewelry capital of Grand Bahama. So already we have in play where we're going to be doing conch jewelry training coming soon into West End. We're also going to be doing it in the Freeport area. And we find that we want to make Grand Bahama more authentic.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
still to come.
Lady Anne-Marie Davis inspires young girls at the Princess Court Mentoring Program. That story, plus sports and more when we return.
World where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Art Lucaya returns April 4th through the 6th with steady sunward. From cocktail parties to student exhibits. Get your tickets now at artlucaya.tickets.com and support local youth in the arts.
Catch the Easter sale at Esquire's during the month of April. Buy one suit and get a shirt and tie absolutely free. Give them a call today at 352-8816.
Hey, what's up, Grand Bahama? KB here. Hey, it's your boy D-Mark in the building.
Jump and dance, and hey, this is Gino D.
Hello, Wilford Solomon here. Grand Bahama, what's up? Yours truly, Tico T, here to let y'all know Sunday, April 28th, we are going to be in 8 Mile Rock. It's going to be on Jonestown Fish Fry at the Sunset Village. To Grand Bahama, you all know I love you all so much.
Gates open at 7 p.m. I'll be in the house with all the Rick and Scrape generals.
Back by the top tier barn. Gates going to open at 7 p.m. Show start properly at 8 p.m. You will enjoy yourself. 8 Mile Rock homecoming.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. 50 new members of Princess Court sat and listened intently as Lady Anne-Marie Davis gave words of wisdom to the 18th Princess Court Mentoring Program this past Sunday. She also encouraged the parents of the young princesses to lead by example. Shalia Roll reports.
Precious. We are powerful. And we are so very loved.
It was a day that members of Princess Court Ministries will remember forever as their purity pearls were placed around their necks, marking the beginning of their journey living a life pure, pleasing God. Around 50 young ladies listened attentively as Lady Anne-Marie Davis, the wife of the Prime Minister, encouraged the young women, reminding them of their power and strength.
I want to remind you that this journey that you are on is not one that you must walk alone. You have the love and the guidance of your parents, your mentors, and your fellow sisters, your fellow Princess Court sisters here with you. As you pledge today, remember again that your value is not determined at all by the world standards, but by the divine purpose that God has placed within you.
Davis then said that the young women should also depend on their parents for love and support, and she left this message for the parents.
Remember that, adults, you have work to do. We have princesses to care for and to lead forward. And they are leaning, like I said earlier, they are leaning on all of you, and they are learning from you.
Cami Hanna, a leading lady at the Princess Court Mentoring Ministry, says that the goal with mentoring these young ladies is to teach them to have a pure mindset.
For young ladies, because it helps them to know not only how to stay pure before and after marriage, but also how to keep a pure mindset, how to be pure of heart, and to be pure towards other persons.
Princesses from the program say that the knowledge that they have learned from the program are lessons that they can keep throughout their lives.
Learn how to etiquette, like how to eat,
get manners and how to create things.
I've been in the Princess Court since I was 5 years old. I'm going to be 16 this year. I've learned to cook, I've learned how to sew, and this year I learned how to do CPR. My favorite part about Princess Court is like the fellowship.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
Well, in a historic first, Grand Bahama welcomed the Think College, Think HBCU College Fair, an event dedicated to expanding opportunities for Bahamian students, hosted by Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the Bahamas Alpha's Educational and Leadership Foundation. The fair is the largest HBCU event outside the U.S., and officials stressed the importance of continuing to provide Bahamian students with scholarship opportunities and access to historically black colleges and universities. Raven Davis reports.
The fourth Think College, Think HBCU Fair recently making an historic debut in Grand Bahama, offering high school students a golden opportunity to secure millions in scholarships from both international and local colleges, with some even gaining admissions on the spot.
For us, it's really important to provide opportunities for Bahamian students to get scholarships to go abroad to college. You know, we know that if you enhance your families, you enhance your communities. Today we have Stillman, we have Claflin, we have Southern University here from the U.S., as well as the University of the Bahamas and the Bahamas Institute of Business Technology.
Chairman of the Bahamas Alpha's Educational and Leadership Foundation, Anjanal Cargill, says this event was specifically designed to uplift students in the Bahamas, especially those in Grand Bahama. He proudly shared that officials have been working tirelessly to raise funds, collaborate with institutions, and organize programs that provide scholarships entirely free of charge.
What we're excited about is that university presidents are here, university executives, recruiters, and also we have the Martin Luther King Memorial Foundation, who's represented here.
Now, Cargill is appealing to the Grand Bahama business community for financial support to continue and grow these efforts.
Surprisingly, most of the appeal we've made to the Grand Bahama community has been a no, and that was disappointing, particularly because in our programs, last year we gave $4 million of scholarships in our Honors Day program, and more than half of those scholarships came to the Grand Bahama community. So obviously the educational system here is very strong.
Meantime, Deputy Director of Education Michelle Boleg also took the stage to highlight the benefits of attending a historically black college, underscoring the unique educational experiences they offer.
You have the support that are on these campuses there to support you. You can expand on your own culture. You can do the things that you enjoy doing.
The two-day event, which also took place in New Providence, has grown significantly over the years. With approximately 10 schools represented on the first day, students had the chance to interact with each booth, ask insightful questions, and explore their future academic possibilities. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's happening in sports?
Well, HBCU, I always wanted to attend the HBCU, especially Flomo down in Miami. But coming up in sports, flag football season, week 3 coming up.
All right, that's coming up next. But first, a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I still want to put shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
And I still want to put shoes on your feet.
We still want to put shoes on your feet.
2 locations to put shoes on your feet. Downtown Freeport, and now our newest location in the Carmichael City Shopping Plaza, right behind the Walk-Up Wendy's, Carmichael Road West.
The Turks and Caicos Islands, a chain of jewels in the Atlantic, home to pristine beaches, vibrant culture, and the people standing at a crossroads. The 2025 general elections marked a defining moment in the archipelago's political landscape, one that would shape the destiny of these islands for the next 5 years. Over 6 days, I walked at these streets, listened to the voices, and witnessed a nation in the Valley of Decision. This is their story. Join us as we give you the highlights of the recent general elections in the Turks and Caicos Islands on Sunday, April 6th at 7:30 p.m. on the ZNS television network.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top and Sports with the Senior Boys and Under 17 Boys Championships now in the books. It was time for the Junior Boys title series between Jack Haywood Jr. and the Tabernacle Falcons. After a tightly contested first half, the Falcons proved that they were the team to be reckoned with, winning Game 1 29-26 to take Game 1 of that best-of-3 series.
Just telling guys to stay focused, and securing Game 1 was very important to us, Now we just got to come out in Game 2 and be a lot more focused than we was. We missed a lot of layups, but we can clean that up. So I think we do a really good job with our 1-2-2 press. I think once we do a good job keeping them off the glass, we'll be good to go.
Multi-talented athlete Keyshawn Pinner and the Falcons were scoring in Game 1.
That's one, thank God, because without them I wouldn't have been here. They helped me with defense, but when I needed them to score, pass the ball and they score.
Now on the ladies' side, semi-finals and senior girls play between Sunland and St. George's. After it was all set and done, it was the Lady Jaguars pulling it off 23-13 to earn a trip to the finals. Next in sports, the Grand Bahama Flag Football League is gearing up for week 3 of the new season.
Basically, right now, we see a lot of new faces mixed with a lot of old faces. So the expectation and the anticipation is that things are going to start off slow. It's probably going to pick up just before the middle of the season. And then the excitement really is going to be from the middle of the season going onward. At that point, everybody should be well situated on their teams, acclimated to their playbooks. Everybody has an understanding of what they're doing, and the action should be at its best.
And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Here at Dynasty Graphics, we provide the following services to churches, corporate, schools, funerals. We can specialize in mugs, wide format printing, wide format laminations. Also can get thermal binding, which is new to basically Grand Bahama, and we specialize in those. Should you want graduation booklets, wide format photos, any posters for concerts, business at the church, you can also get those, such as tied envelope, visitor's card, school students. We have portfolios that we can offer you, special funeral packages. We do vinyl printing. Our phone numbers are 352-2679, 352-2681. Email address dynastygraphics@gmail.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Health Bites. Today's episode is going to be about testosterone, which is the most important male sex hormone. This is especially for the guys. So testosterone is important. It helps to build muscle, it helps with your energy level, and of course it helps with your sex drive. So if you're feeling low energy, low sex drive, you have excess fat, they can be symptoms of low testosterone. Some ways you can increase your testosterone are by getting lots of rest, eating a healthy, balanced diet, including foods such as broccoli, tuna, and eggs. Those are 3 foods helpful for testosterone. Another way is to take a testosterone booster, like this one here. Testosterone boosters help to increase your body's natural testosterone production, as well as the quality of your testosterone. Remember, if you need any of these supplements, we have them available at the Fitness Connection, locations both in Nassau and Freeport. Come check us out.
#1 team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
I'm Jay Fleet from God is Thursday, Miko. It's almost Friday.
Almost Friday. We almost there. Thanks so much for watching. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight, coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, bracing for the worst, praying for the best. The tourism minister acknowledges the headwinds that lie ahead of the top industry achieving yet another banner year. Also, challenges and criticisms leave local jet ski operators on the defensive. And the government clamps down on unscrupulous practices against the country's national resources. We have the why and how. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Just when the local tourism industry was off to a pretty impressive start, outside risk posed serious threats. Still, as Eleuthero's business community and civic leaders heard just today, the tourism minister remains cautiously optimistic that the Bahamas will ultimately fare well. Eleuthero is said to be poised for its best era ever. And Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper's confidence is based on the island pulling in nearly 18,000 stopover visitors for the first 2 months of 2025. That's 34% more than it did during the same period last year. But though encouraging news for the thriving tourism industry, the minister acknowledges there are headwinds.
And we anticipate over the course of the next few months that there will consistently be some uncertainty in the marketplace. Yesterday and today, the world is swirling as a result of the tariff wars, which is going to result in an increase in the overall cost of living, particularly for Americans. And you would know that 80% of our tourists come from the USA. And therefore, this will have some resulting impact on our major industry. We're coming off a record 2023 year and a record 2024 year, and so far, we're beating those records in 2025. But we're bracing ourselves.
Uncertainty in key source markets by no means the only concern. Geopolitical issues continue to leave the world in a state of uncertainty, leaving travelers to either stay at home or close to it. Close to its source market, though, officials are confident that the Bahamas will continue to fare well. But there's also the issue of that dreaded updated U.S. travel advisory for the Bahamas.
Whilst the level of the advisory has not changed, there's been concerns expressed particularly about jet ski operators in Nassau. And whilst these advisories tend to have less impact on places like Eleuthera and Exuma and the other family islands, we ought to be aware that there are many people in the world who do not understand the geography of the Bahamas, and when they hear the Bahamas, they think Nassau, and when they hear Nassau, they think that that is the entirety of the Bahamas, not being aware of our archipelago. And therefore, sometimes there is that impact.
According to the minister, all in all, this reinforces the message that tourism must always be everyone's business. Well, in related news, the livelihoods of local watercraft operators once again at risk after the United States made special mention of the potential hazards attached to the industry here in the Bahamas. Danielle Dean has the story.
Jet ski operators here in Goodman's Bay are refuting the claims that their operations are unsafe following the United States' most recent update to the travel advisory against the country.
We are fully regulated. Everyone is licensed and insured, and everyone have an identification sheet to say which company you work for. Now, what we want the Bahamas government to do, they need to come and do their job. If you have a problem in a certain area where you have unregulated guys operating, shut it down.
Pedro Bannister of Pedro's Water Sports is fed up by operators he says simply purchase watercraft, drop it in the water, and solicit customers without caring enough to go through proper channels.
I am crying out to Mrs. Knowles, the Commissioner of Police, that she could assign some serious people to come deal with these little problems. And once now, if the police come and harassing people that are not licensed, I'm glad. That means that they won't be there to give the Bahamas government a bad name.
Devon Bonamy of Bonamy's Water Sports corroborating Bannister's claim that all operators he knows, including himself, are registered. But the U.S. Travel Advisory, which states about the Bahamas, boating is not well regulated. Injuries and deaths have occurred. Sexual assaults by jet ski operators have also been reported, and watercraft may not be safe, and some operators are not licensed or insured, has caused some potential patrons to hesitate.
Due to the advisories for the last 2 days, as you can see, the beach, the people, they not really doing any activities like that because the advisories got a lot of the people kind of scared right now. People would been here before, they know. This is a good environment. Nowhere in the world you could find nice people like this.
But specifically in reference to claims of sexual assault, Bonamy had this to say.
There's a lot of jet ski operators that was locked up for rape, but none was never convicted. You could Google that. You could Google the statistics on it.
American visitor Caleb Blankenship is unfazed by the advisory.
I told them they got to come here and visit because they would see, how it is here, and it's amazing here. It's like I would live here if I could.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Well, the government's assurance that no issues will derail its VAT relief program, which took effect Tuesday, slashing the rate of value-added tax on certain food items from 10% to 5%. That, according to Economics Minister, Senator the Honorable Michael Alquitas, who this morning addressed the issue during the weekly press briefing at the Office of the Prime Minister.
This is not a temporary fix. There's no other shoe left to drop about some other increase. This was very deliberate. We did it after 3 years because we wanted to make sure that, we could withstand what was foregone. So this is permanent. And there's no shoe left to drop. There's nothing coming on the flip side as much as some commentators, not you, some commentators might wish to convince people.
In other news, we're hearing more about what led to a joint task force seizure of 5 U.S. registered pleasure vessels in Bahamian waters earlier this week. The task force, including Defense Force, Customs, and police officers working along with the Port Department, conducted an investigation into the activities of those vessels, which included surveillance of their movement in and about the Nassau Harbor and the surrounding quay. That investigation uncovered that those vessels, believed to belong to the same owner, were being used for commercial purposes. Customs Controller Ralph Monroe says this is a violation of the Customs Management Act and the customs regulations.
4 of the 5 vessels, ranging in length from 33 to 47 feet, entered the Bahamas at various times over the past 16 months and were all issued Bahamas Customs cruising permit which under the law forbade them from being used for commercial purpose or hire without the permission of the Controller of Customs. The fifth vessel was seized on Tuesday is a 30-foot open console Intrepid. That vessel arrived in the Bahamas earlier this year and was entered by the use of a fraudulent invoice. Our investigation into that matter revealed that the true values was lowered by some $50,000 or 50%. The vessel was seized under the provision of the Customs Management Act as an customs good.
Well, as indicated, the vessel's now in the hands of the Customs Department, the comptroller issuing this terse but stern warning to other illegal operators.
Cease and desist, as the Office of the Control of Customs has and will continue to impose harsh penalties, which include the maximum in appropriate cases upon all violators.
Well, coming up, senators debate the proposed length of service for Defense Force Marines. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Irresistible taste of a KFC big deal, some people will do anything. KFC is finger-licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
We are looking at a shot there of Clifton Pier. Here you see an oil tanker in the background, BPL's power plant. A drone shot, of course, courtesy of our Neville Smith. Well, welcome back. The police and defense forces, Basra, fishermen, and volunteers all coming together to conduct sea and aerial searches for two men reported missing at sea off the Berry Islands. Now, according to authorities, the men were aboard a white, blue, and red 18-foot Paramount vessel that left the Berry Islands en route to Chepkey on Wednesday. Unfortunately, they haven't been seen since. Unfavorable weather conditions have led to the search being suspended, at least for now. Well, we turn our attention now to news from Parliament. The Bahamas knows all too well the benefits of natural resources. The Andros Barrier Reef is the third largest in the world and the third largest living organism on the planet. But it also knows what it is to have its natural resources exploited. The infrastructure of foreign companies left Andros with decades of extensive deforestation. It's a cautionary tale for lawmakers who yesterday debated the mining bill, proposed legislation that safeguards the country's natural resources. As Prime Minister, the Honourable Philip Davis stressed in Parliament yesterday, short-term gains cannot come at the expense of the natural environment. And this lends to the introduction of strict conditions for approval for mining activities.
Any entity which comes forward with the intention of setting up a mining operation must demonstrate their capacity to use those resources efficiently, as well as their financial and technical capacity has to be demonstrated. We want Bahamians around the decision-making table, keeping a watchful eye over any operations. We want Bahamian owners who have a sense of patriotism and care about the future of our nation. This bill ensures that Bahamians can play key roles in these operations. Any mining enterprise must also demonstrate how local plant and animal life will be preserved.
Further, to preserve supply of fresh water, they must provide information on the impact on the surrounding bodies of water as well as on the water table. They must also show how surrounding land will be affected and outline the risk of pollution to the local environment. And these criteria must be met ahead of any right or license being granted.
Any eligible Bahamian citizen or legal entity must go through a lengthy and comprehensive application process to demonstrate their capacity and intention to satisfy the strict standards set. Any mineral rights granted can also be suspended or cancelled due to any relevant breaches of the agreement and conditions or violations of this law. Madam Speaker, this bill will introduce a mining cadastry register so that Bahamians can see for themselves who is applying for mineral rights and mining licenses and who has received rights and licenses, and the relevant details of who, what, where, and when, and how these activities shall be conducted. This transparency, in our view, is critical.
We fast forward now to today's Senate proceedings for debate on amendments to the Defense Force Bill. The proposed changes extending the length of service for Marines. As it stands, these officers must retire after 25 years of service or at the age of 55. However, the government is seeking to allow them to reapply within 6 months of their retirement. Introducing the bill in the Senate, the government's leader, the Honourable Michael Halkitis, while opposition head, Senator the Honourable Darren Henfield, a former Defense Force officer, said he's a prime example of the opportunities that can be afforded.
You engage, you do 25 years, you can get an extension. As it stands now, you can extend up until you are 55. And what we're changing today is we're making it possible for you to serve up until 60 years.
I've never been to a college before I joined the Defense Force. And since then, I have been trained in the University of the West Indies, where I read law, UB, where I read law. I have been trained in the Naval Postgraduate School in America, which is one of the most prestigious military schools in America. And I'm very grateful to the people and government of the Bahamas for affording me such privilege. And look where I wound up. In a place like this, debating an extension to the age for Marines and enlisted people in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
Well, just like Exuma, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies is leading a multi-million-dollar, multi-year road paving project that's expected to transform the way drivers on the Isle of Freedom roam the streets. Aldavis Munnings recently traveled to Eleuthera with the company's executives to get this progress report.
Road paving in the Waterford community dominated work this past Saturday in the Eleuthera Road Improvement Project managed by the Bahamas Striping Group of companies. Road upgrades are already visible in Wims's Bight, Savannah Sound, Governor's Harbor, and Palmetto Point.
We are in the process of just getting the settlement roads done. Anywhere where we don't have to do water work, we're getting the paving done. So that's the reason why we are skipping certain settlements at this time.
Once in full operation, the ultimate goal is to pave the entire 163 miles of Eleuthera. And President Otario Mitchell expects his team to pave a minimum of 3 miles per week. This, he says, will help the company achieve its target of being ahead of its completion schedule.
We're about to approach the rainy season, so we currently have a 6-day work week. And most of the time we actually work 7 days out of the week once we have a clear day. So the idea if the guys buy into the vision of getting the project out on time, so they understand that it entails them to push in and get the work out. We're trying to pave as much road as possible.
And for right now, there are about 50 men working on this Eleuthera-based project, and more employees are needed.
So we intend to have one paving crew that paves almost every day, and we're going to have 2 to 3 different base work crews working in different areas. So we're definitely looking for more people to join, that's laborers as well as operators.
The Eleuthera Road Improvement Project is expected to be completed in 2028. Reporting from Rock Sound, South Eleuthera, I'm Altaviz Munnings. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Also, stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by FoCall Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Striping, the Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code. Select your payment amount and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
Heineken launching a two-day pop-up experience rewarding travelers arriving through the Lynden Pending International Airport with a refreshing complimentary Heineken straight from the draft machine. As Jimenita Swain tells us, the experience made many travelers go, ah.
That lager is the first promo where travelers are able to be rewarded for traveling.
Heineken brand manager Marquita Stubbs with insight on the latest marketing campaign the brand recently launched at the Lynden Pending International Airport.
We are basically giving returning citizens as well as residents, as well as the tourists that are coming here, the opportunity to enjoy a nice, refreshing Heineken whilst also partaking in our different SKUs, which is silver and original. And then because of that process, they're able to redeem a reward for the duration of their flight.
For Commonwealth Brewery Marketing Director Andre Vault, the lager offers an experience.
We found that for consumers around the world, Heineken is known for two things. Its quality experiences and that uniquely balanced taste. You have that Heineken, that first sip after work, and your day switches from work to quality socializing. And our new global campaign is just about celebrating this moment. Now, this need cannot just be found in happy hours or after work, but also when you're traveling. And in fact, here in the Bahamas, we rank among the most traveled countries in the world per capita, with locals and tourists constantly in and out.
The collaborative partnership couldn't be a better fit, especially for consumers.
We understand a lot of our locals are not traveling, so we decided to partner up with our retail chain, which is 700 Wines and Spirits. So you can come into any of our 700 Wines and Spirits nationwide, you purchase any SKU, and then you're able to enter to win. So enter to win, purchase a 3-pack, and you enter to win a getaway experience for 2. Or we also did gift with purchase, which is pretty much purchase a 6-pack and then you're able to receive a glass, a water bottle, or an opener.
As for what makes Heineken the ideal beer brand for this campaign,
a Heineken brewmaster only uses 3 natural ingredients: water, hops, and pure malt.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jimenita Swain.
Well, Dawn and Marlena join us live for a sneak peek of Access Now.
Makushala, I have a question for you. Have you ever volunteered before in your life?
I have.
Are you interested in volunteering at the Red Cross, you and Marlena?
It's been a minute since I volunteered, so I feel like it's probably time again. What do you think, Makushala?
Yes, you're right, Marlena. Yes, you're right. You're certainly right. Considering all that the Red Cross it does for the country.
And I think it's Volunteerism Month, isn't it?
It definitely is. It definitely is. So you may want to think about it, Makushala. We may want to do the Meals on Wheels prep thing down there at the Red Cross. Yeah.
This is true, but we'll hear more about that in Access Now. For now, stay with us with the Bahamas Tonight. We return after this.
Diet-friendly special.
Do you ever just want more?
But wait, there's Marco's! Introducing the More Marco's menu, packed with your favorites starting at just $6. Like our warm, golden baked cheesy bread, crispy stuffed pozole. How about a hot, fresh, medium one-topping pizza, subs, calzones, pizza bowls, and more. Starting at just $6. Certain restrictions apply. More variety, more value, more Marco's! Order today at Marco's Pizza, Bahamas.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
Burying a loved one is never easy and can be a costly thing to do. NIB's funeral benefit can provide much-needed assistance during this difficult time. This one-time payment is made to the individual who paid for the funeral or payment can be made to the funeral home in lieu of payment to an individual. To claim the funeral benefit, complete all fields of Form B51, Claim for Funeral Benefit. Provide banking details indicating where you would like your payments to be sent. A wire transfer form and a government-issued ID are required for persons residing outside the Bahamas. Ensure that your bank's branch transit number and bank account number are provided, not your debit card number. On islands where there are no banks, checks may be collected at the nearest NIB office. Lastly, the claimant must declare that all information is true. The beneficiary must be designated, and the form must be signed. The funeral benefit form is accompanied by a certified death certificate of the deceased, evidence of payment of funeral expenses, and the marriage certificate if the claim is being made on the strength of a spouse's contribution. The form should be submitted within 6 months after death of the deceased. For more information, visit the NIB website at nib-bahamas.com.
Does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Get ready for the biggest night in Bahamian entertainment. The 6th Annual Elevation Awards is back. Bigger, bolder, and unforgettable. Join your host, Sawyer Boy, April 5th at 6 p.m. at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium for an electrifying night of live performances from Nishi LS, Iron Store, Johnny Cake, Wendy 242, Iman, Jay Shepard, and more. Tickets just $100. Get yours now at theelevationawards.com. That's the 6th Annual Elevation Awards, live on ZNS TV 13, April 5th at 6 p.m. Elevate the culture. Celebrate the stars.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, that's good enough to eat and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat and it's good to grow.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is pulling out all the stops for this year's Agri Expo happening April 4th to 6th. At today's press conference, Minister Jomo Campbell and Project Manager Jacqueline Fox DeVoe spilled the juicy details on what attendees can expect. And trust us, you don't want to miss it.
This is more than just an event. It is a movement toward a stronger, more self-sufficient Bahamas.
There'll be a number of lecture series. Whether you want to do Poultry 101, whether you want to learn aquaponics, whether you want to learn aquaculture, whether you want to learn how to do backyard gardening, whether you want to learn how to grow sweet potato, whether you want to eat some flour cake from Cat Island. We have it all there at this year's Expo.
Minister Campbell emphasizes the importance of the expo in promoting local food production, strengthening food security, and creating opportunities for Bahamian farmers and fishers.
Young Bahamians will be able to showcase their work, contributions to these vital industries. We have 80 plus local artisan displays showcasing Bahamian-made products. Bahamian-made products. And the most fun part of it all, a free kiddie corner and family-friendly activity section. There will be cooking demonstrations, and the Battle of the Island competition is back again, featuring Bahamian chefs using homegrown ingredients, not to mention live junkanoo and cultural performances. Ladies and gentlemen, we are committed to building a self-sufficient and sustainable food system that will nourish future generations.
The Agri Expo 2025 will be held from April 4th to 6th, and organizers are encouraging the public to come out and experience the best of Bahamian agriculture and marine resources. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
You can cruise on a jitney all day and use its Wi-Fi. You heard me. Wi-Fi on jitneys is now a thing.
Awesome. And Blairwood Academy is having a masquerade fundraiser for World Autism Month, so make sure to support it. We have the story first.
Plus, calling all volunteers. Yes, the Red Cross needs you. Details straight ahead.
And coming up in sports, baseball, and more baseball.
Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now.
Well, we have a unit here at the Broadcasting Corporation that I would really like to acknowledge tonight, Marlena. Without them, no one will actually see us.
Well, it sounds like a very special unit. What's on your mind, LaDawn?
I would like to open our newscast with telling the employees of the Master Control Unit just how important their job is here at the Broadcasting Corporation and how important they are to us. Without them, there is no us.
Well, you could say that again. Cheers to the men and women, especially those women as well, of Master Control. You are the gods of the airways, so continue to hang in there because we appreciate you.
So let's dive right into the news, shall we? Well, if you have been using public transportation lately, you've probably noticed that there's something a little different. Corvell Pryfum shows us how this recently launched initiative ensures that passengers are always connected.
It wasn't just the fact that it was a historic moment that had Energy and Transport Minister Colby Davis so overjoyed about this initiative that will undoubtedly enhance public transportation here in New Providence, but she seemed equally happy to boast about those behind it.
In far too many instances in our country, we often look to external technology developers for solutions. However, today's event makes clear that we have some of the best technology innovators in the world.
The technology innovators here are AdFi. It's a growing Bahamian tech company that's been in business for about 7 years. The company actually approached the government about this initiative. And let's tell you exactly what the initiative is. Providing passengers on our jitneys with free Wi-Fi. That's right. Now when you board jitneys and look out for those AdFi decals on those vehicles, you can, in a few easy steps, access Wi-Fi free of charge. Keith Russell is AdFi CEO.
We know that the pandemic proved that internet is no longer like a luxury. It's a necessity. But we still have a lot of citizens who can't afford it, right? And so by integrating our ad network into the Wi-Fi, we're able to cut costs, right? So we're able to monetize and bring the cost down for users.
As of today, I'm not going to steal any of Keith's thunder, but I'm told that over 70 buses have already been equipped with the equipment. Along with over 20 taxi and livery vehicles.
To make this all happen, AdFi is partnering with BTC.
Partnering with Wi-Fi allows us to extend our reliable 4G LTE network to public transit, ensuring that both residents and visitors stay effortlessly connected.
So now it's jitneys, taxis, and liveries, but soon AdFi hopes to take the service to water taxis and tour vehicles. Will this bring more riders to jitneys? Probably not, but it's a safe bet that more riders will enjoy the ride. For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now. I'm Corvell Pryfum.
Thanks, Corvell. Well, yesterday was World Autism Day, and while much attention continues to highlight advancements in addressing the neurodevelopmental condition, those in the trenches still require support. Our Lloyd Allen shares in this next story one parent's journey, but also what you can do to help.
It's not a slam dunk dealing with a child who's been diagnosed with some form or another. But for Robin Meadows, she says 12 years ago when she found out her son was autistic, she did all she could to make a difference in his life.
I'm a third grade teacher at Gerald Cash Primary School, and my son, Wenzel Meadows, attends Blairwood Academy.
Meadows says after having her second child back in 2011, it was during his toddler years she knew something wasn't right.
He would make noises sounding like a dolphin. He would scream. He would spin around, hit his head to walls and tables. He didn't want any hugs, any touching, any kisses.
She says it took nearly 2 more years to discover what was really wrong.
Yes, when he was 5, we took him back, and he was then diagnosed to be on the spectrum, the autism spectrum.
Accepting that reality, this educator got to work.
So when you arrived here this afternoon, he engaged you.
Yes, he did. And that was something that we were working on for years. His language came around. He started speaking, having conversations, answering questions, reading to us. And so that was, that was very, very Give me a minute.
We saw that Ven had some potential.
Blair director and principal Kimberly Cruz-Collis says oftentimes parents are in denial, but encourages any parent with concerns to begin asking questions.
Today, autism is 1 in 36 children. You know, that's a small number. And because of that, parents really need to know, hey, does my child have some traits? And if they do, how severe is it? Or, you know, what can we do? You know, what can I do to help my child?
With April being pegged as Autism Awareness Month, the school is encouraging the public to support its upcoming Masquerade fundraiser, something they at Vinzel see as essential. Tell us what you intend to wear on that night.
Well, I'm gonna wear a suit. I'm gonna wear a color that's blue. I'm gonna put on that mask. That will be open on April 26, 2025.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Good story there, Lloyd. Well, volunteerism is one of the fundamental principles of the Bahamas Red Cross Society, a pillar the organization has strived on for nearly a century. President Edison Sumner, a volunteer himself, telling the Access Now team that the organization has about 5,000 registered volunteers, with only half of them active. But despite this, Sumner hopes to drive those numbers back up this year.
This place is quite a busy place. We could not thrive the way we do without our volunteer support system. We've got volunteers across the country. The largest concentration, of course, is here in New Providence. We've got volunteers in Grand Bahama, and in fact, every island where the Red Cross has representation, we've got volunteers. And our volunteers are there, not that they're called upon every single day, right? Most of our volunteers are activated in the time of need.
With April being observed as Volunteer Month, Sumner explained what the process is like and how you can sign up.
So you can't just walk off the street into the office and say, I'm here to volunteer. You've got to be vetted because you're dealing with people. You're dealing with vulnerable people. You want to be sure that when we see these folks that we're dealing with, that you're still able to offer service with a degree of empathy to these people. You've got to operate with a level of dignity with these folks that we're dealing with, and you've got to be confidential. Right?
Well, this weekend, officials from the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources are staging the 3-day Agri-Expo Fair, promoting backyard farming, education, and sustainability. The theme for this year's expo is Food Security is Our Priority, and there are expected nearly 20 vendors, an array of workshops, fun for the kiddies and animal lovers, and foodies will certainly have a lot to feast on. Project Manager Jacqueline Fox-DeVoe, previewing the expo at this morning's OPM briefing, says the event, which will officially open tomorrow, is free and there's something for everyone.
If you are interested in learning how to grow and harvest sweet potatoes, we have a 2-hour workshop scheduled on Saturday. If you are interested in hydroponic farming, we have a workshop for you. If you are interested in aquaculture, we have a workshop for you. If you are interested in learning how to make jams and jellies, boil tomatoes, make yogurt, manufacture yogurt, bread making, pastry making, we have it for you. There's something for everyone.
The event takes place this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's free of charge and takes place at the Ministry's Fairgrounds on Gladstone Road. Well, still to come, a Disney Eleuthera update. Stay close.
Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin and other educational officials visited Spanish Wells recently to greet the students, teachers, and administrators of the Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School. During the visit, education officials assisted in presenting several awards to students for their excellent academic performances during the last school term.
We're proud of this school because Samuel Guy Pinder is distinguishing itself every year in this nation. Something is happening here that's happening right. And I think the director hit the nail on the head for it. One is the huge parental engagement and support I want to say thank you. Thank you to Ms. Rule. Thank you to our teachers. Thank you to the support staff, and certainly thank you, parents. It is indeed the village that causes for our children to excel and to maximize their potential.
Wes Underwood, a student of Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School and a top national achiever in the BJC examinations, was recognized by the school for receiving 10 A grades. Here is his advice to students who also wish to achieve high grades in the national examinations.
If you want to get these good examination results, you have to study and obviously put in the hours. So I was studying from about 3 right after I got out of school till about 7 or 8 on the weekdays, and then on Saturdays I was also doing some tutor.
Jonalee McIntosh for Ed Talk.
Celebrate new lower bag rates and save even more on super value and quality. Supermarkets, healthy choice soups, assorted 15-ounce, $2.59. Ginger Abbott flour, 5 pounds, $3.69. Kellogg's family size cereals, assorted 24-ounce, $6.29. Fresh salmon, $9.99 per pound. Ready-to-listen apples, 3-pound bag, $3.49. Sign up and join the Super Value Quality Digital Rewards Program at any Super Value and Quality Supermarkets location.
Here at Solomon's, we don't just believe in great brands, we believe in creating unforgettable memories and celebrating everyday living with you and your family. Every aisle is filled with all you need, a great value with variety and a selection of all your favorite groceries and products, saving you time and keeping you on a budget. Great food changes everything. Shop at your local Solomon's for food, for family, for you.
Welcome back. You're looking at a shot of a beautiful sunset behind the British Colonial Hotel there, located at number 1 Bay Street. Shot by our drone pilot, Destiny Reed. Great job, Destiny. Well, let's take a trip to Eleuthera. Let's go. Where magic meets the beauty and culture of the Bahamas. That's the theme behind Disney Lookout at Lighthouse Point, located at the southernmost part of Eleuthera. Since opening last year, June, Lookout Key offers amenities such as an adult-only beach, family-focused activities, a kid-only playland, a recreation center, dining options, shops, a water playground, and a cultural pavilion. Regional Public Affairs Director Joey Gaskins boasts that the team is seeing increased calls as the company's fleet expands with its new ship, the Disney Treasure.
One of the things that I love talking about as it relates to Disney Lookout Key is how much our guests embrace Bahamian culture, because Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point is anchored in the culture and history of the Bahamas. We have an all-Bahamian leadership team there. We have a 95% Bahamian employment rate at Disney Lookout Key. And all of our cast members, the people that we refer to as cast members, our employees, just love bringing all of this culture, their livelihoods, and their heritage so our guests can experience it firsthand from them.
Good initiative there in one of my favorite places. Let's check in with ZNS Total Sports to see what's coming up.
Regular season highlights from the GSSA baseball and softball season coming up ahead in sports.
We at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service, we do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Welcome to your Thankful Thursday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. Well, the regular season for the GSSA baseball and softball seasons continuing yesterday at the Blue Hills Sporting Complex. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. With their season in full swing, softball for girls and baseball for boys is the name of the game at the Blue Hills Sporting Complex. Maintaining a steady lead 7-5, the R.M. Bailey Pacers looked at this one to be over as they faced the Stingrays of CV Bethel. The Stingrays quickly let the bats fly to take the lead 8-7. Continuing to break down the Pacers, the Stingrays would come out on top 10-8. Coach Chantel Roll and team captain Chardonnay Knowles on their fight from behind.
Girls kept the girls focused. We let them know we got to score runs. We got to take it slow, score runs each inning that we go. When we go out on the field, we got to get the 3 stops because of the new rules where we have you score 5 and then you exit off the field. So our advantage was that we score 5 and we stop them from scoring 5 in the inning.
We start off a little rocky, but we were able to pick it up. As a team, we as one, it was just keep motivating each other and take it from there.
On the baseball side, the Stingrays faced a similar deficit, being down 5-0 against the Pacers. CV Bethel would quickly rally back to tie it up against R.M. Bailey 5-5. After taking the lead, the Stingrays would close this one out 8-5. Head coach Alonzo Cunningham on yet another regular season victory.
They have that passion. When they come together, they feed off each other, and the chemistry is just there. One game at a time. I don't sleep on nobody. I'm not trying to play with my food with anyone. One game at a time for me.
In the junior girls, D.W. Davis would take down A.F. Adley 15-7, and H.O. Nash would crush S.C. McPherson 11-2. In the senior girls, Doris Johnson defeating Anatole Rogers 9-1. In the junior boys, A.F. Adley beating D.W. Davis 7-2, and H.O. Nash narrowly taking down S.C. McPherson 4-3. And just like their senior girls team, Anatole took down Doris Johnson 9-1. And that's been your Thursday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. Stay tuned, we've got weather when we return.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. ATC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one and the car say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower is a globally recognized symbol for persons with invisible disabilities.
The sunflower lanyard made our journey less stressful, smoother, and more inclusive.
REACH is proud to support the Hidden Sunflower Scheme, which makes the invisible visible. So far, the Nassau Airport Authority and the Nassau Cruise Port are sunflower certified.
So if you see someone with a sunflower lanyard, always remember to be patient and ask if they need some help. Please be kind and always remember to show respect.
We wish to encourage more hotel operators with amenities such as water parks, restaurants, cinemas, government offices to join this initiative, making the Bahamas a more sunflower-friendly country.
Please feel free to reach out to the REACH office at 328-4123 or you can reach out to the National Commissions for Persons with Disabilities at 396-8700.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast. Well, some breezy conditions will be with us through the weekend. But, LaDawn, you've been asking for the cold weather. Well, we have another cold front coming, but that would not reach here until next week. We'll tell you all about that later in the newscast, so stay tuned. And now today, we had the Colorado State University. Well, they posted their first hurricane prediction for 2025. And usually we average about 14 named storms, 7 of which materialize into hurricanes. And out of those 7 hurricanes, we usually get about 3 major hurricanes. But this year, Colorado State is predicting 17 named storms, so that puts us above the average. And 9 of those will become hurricane, and that too is 2 degrees up above what we usually anticipate. In the major category, we're anticipating 4 major hurricanes. So once again, prepare yourself accordingly for the upcoming 2025 hurricane season. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. In the Northwestern Islands tonight, right through Saturday, those winds are going to be out of the southeast at 12 to 18 knots, gusting to about 28, 30 knots at times. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet, locally higher near showers and some isolated thunderstorms, particularly in the extreme northwestern parts of the country. Now, the high tide, that will occur at 1:18 in the morning. The low tide is 7:52 tomorrow morning for the central and southeastern islands. Tonight through Saturday, those winds once again out of the southeast, but much stronger at 15 to 25 knots. So we're asking small craft in the central and southeastern islands to exercise extreme caution, as an advisory is in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
I say 1 plus 1 is 11. They say we living in a dark, dark world, but I tell them, say all good don't go to heaven. Sweat, blood, and tears, toiling all day. Watch as you grow, friends and family drift away. Boy, don't you stop, continue to fight. Forgive them, peace and love, and everything will be all right. Say.
That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Look on and Melina.
Our viewers didn't get to see us, but Marlene and I were going, yes, Basil, cold front is coming. We're excited about that. Thanks so much for that weather. It's almost the weekend, Marlena. Any special plans?
Well, there's always plans for the weekend, LaDawn. Can't wait.
Until then, let's check in with Matea Cunningham and Let's Talk Socials.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Matea, and that's right, it's time for another iconic Let's Talk Socials entry. Today we're discussing a TikTok trend that is what the young people would call unserious. The trend lists off a wide array of desserts, and the individual participating does an action to show how much they enjoy each one. Well, Bahamians got a hold of this trend and, of course, added that island flavor. Bahamian TikTok user Josh put his own spin on it, swapping out the desserts for classic Bahamian foods and using Bahamian dances to rate them. And let's just say he understood the assignment. Check this out.
Cheesecake. Apple pie. Chocolate chip cookies. Brownies. Ice cream sundae. S'mores. Banana split. Pumpkin pie. Red velvet cake. Carrot cake.
Once again, Bahamians are proving to be entertaining contenders in the worldwide digital space. And today, Josh is the perfect example of just that. That's it for today's Let's Talk Socials. Have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thanks a lot, Matea. Well, that does it for Access Now this evening.
Well, stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. His guest tonight is F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands.
Good night, everybody.
Did you know that if a fire starts in your home, you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape? Keep your family and home safe with these few fire safety preparation and prevention tips. Ensure that your home has working smoke detectors. They will alert you if there is smoke and fire in your home. Install a smoke detector on every level of your home, inside each bedroom and outside each sleeping area. Test smoke detectors every month and change the batteries every 6 months. Home fires can spread rapidly and every second counts. Create an escape plan and practice it with everyone in your home. Make sure everyone can safely escape in less than 2 minutes. Keep escape routes as clutter-free as possible so no one trips or falls on the way out to an emergency. In addition to smoke detectors, fire extinguishers is an important device to have on hand. To use a fire extinguisher, remember the acronym PASS. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the handle, and sweep from side to side at the base of the fire. We must all do our parts to ensure that our families and homes are safe in the event a fire occurs. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, the Director of Fire Services, and all officers of the fire department, let's work together to help prevent fires, because fire safety is everyone's responsibility, and the life you save may be your own.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lopinder.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine one.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
It's a joy, to help someone who is in need,
I'm proud to know that we are able to accommodate them with a hot meal, fresh meal, and a well-balanced meal.
A lot of our clients, as you know, it's in the inner city and persons who really include and so much of the loss they do. And for whatever reason, 2 months, 3 months, they really don't have anything. You have to have some kind of kindness to do this.
We seem to remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. Throw a jungle parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars. And then forget about them until the next Members of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read as I see it, exclusively at ZNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
I don't know, but there's all kinds of cars in the parking lot, but you ain't even know where to park. Yeah, just don't park in the, look at this way. Like, you ain't get nowhere to go. Don't park in, just don't park in the handicap spot. Yeah, that's handicap spot. No, you can't park in the handicap spot. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. Handicap spot, boy, what's going on, dog? I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way parking, bro. I tell you we shouldn't park here. Don't get one of these things. My bad, big bro. And he got a sticker inside that say this mother. We gotta move. This is a handicap spot. That's what we gotta move. But we gotta move. Don't. We can move right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
at Harold One. I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you all with us tonight. Well, politics still dominating news around the country. Former Free National Movement MP Iram Lewis joining the Coalition for Independence yesterday, raising more questions about the party's leadership and its future. Add to that, reports surfaced today that the FNM leader Michael Pintard reportedly told Kalani MP and former Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, that he won't get the party's nod in the next general elections. Well, we want to assure you that we're going to get and tackle all of this tonight and find out if that's true or not and get the actual facts. We get the right person who can answer all these questions tonight. The chairman of the Free National Movement is here tonight. But first, just when the local tourism industry was off to an impressive start, exogenous risks pose serious threats. Still, as Eleuthero's business community and civic leaders heard just today, the tourism minister remains cautiously optimistic that the Bahamas will ultimately fare well. Mukesh Lapinda has that story.
Said to be poised for its best era ever. And Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper's confidence is based on the island pulling in nearly 18,000 stopover visitors for the first 2 months of 2025. That's 34% more than it did during the same period last year. But though encouraging news for the thriving tourism industry, the minister acknowledges there are headwinds.
And we anticipate over the course of the next few months that there will consistently be some uncertainty in the marketplace. Yesterday and today, the world is swirling as a result of the tariff wars, which is going to result in an increase in the overall cost of living, particularly for Americans. And you would know that 80% of our tourists come from the USA. And therefore, this will have some resulting impact on our major industry. We're coming off a record 2023 year and a record 2024 year, and so far, we're beating those records in 2025. But we're bracing ourselves.
Uncertainty in key source markets by no means the only concern. Geopolitical issues continue to leave the world in a state of uncertainty, leaving travelers to either stay at home or close to it. Close to its source market, though, officials are confident that the Bahamas will continue to fare well. But there's also the issue of that dreaded updated U.S. travel advisory for the Bahamas.
Whilst the level of the advisory has not changed, there's been concerns expressed, particularly about jet ski operators in Nassau. And whilst these advisories tend to have less impact on places like Eleuthero and Exuma and the other family islands, we ought to be aware that there are many people in the world who do not understand the geography of the Bahamas, and when they hear the Bahamas, they think Nassau, and when they hear Nassau, they think that that is the entirety of the Bahamas, not being aware of our archipelago. And therefore, sometimes there is that impact.
According to the minister, all in all, this reinforces the message that tourism must always be everyone's business.
I'm Mukesh Lapinda reporting there tonight. Well, meantime, local watercraft operators' livelihoods at risk again after the United States made special mention of the potential hazards attached to participation in such activities while here in the Bahamas. Some of them shared their reaction with our Daniel Dean.
Jet ski operators here in Goodman's Bay are refuting the claims that their operations are unsafe following the United States' most recent update to the travel advisory against the country.
We are fully regulated. Everyone is licensed and insured, and everyone have an identification sheet to say which company you work for. Now, what we want the Bahamas government to do, They need to come and do their job. If you have a problem in a certain area where you have unregulated guys operating, shut it down.
Pedro Bannister of Pedro's Water Sports is fed up by operators he says simply purchase watercraft, drop it in the water, and solicit customers without caring enough to go through proper channels.
I am crying out to Mrs. Knowles, the Commissioner of Police, that she could assign some serious people to come deal with these little problems. And once now, if the police come and harassing people that are not licensed, I'm glad. That means that they won't be there to give the Bahamas government a bad name.
Devon Bonamy of Bonamy's Water Sports corroborating Bannister's claim that all operators he knows, including himself, are registered. But the U.S. Travel Advisory, which states about the Bahamas, boating is not well regulated. Injuries and deaths have occurred. Sexual assaults by jet ski operators have also been reported, and watercraft may not be safe, and some operators are not licensed or insured, has caused some potential patrons to hesitate.
Due to the advisories for the last 2 days, as you can see, the beach, the people, they not really doing any activities like that because the advisories got a lot of the people kind of scared right now. People would been here before, they know. This is a good environment. Nowhere in the world you could find nice people like this.
But specifically in reference to claims of sexual assault, Bonamy had this to say.
There's a lot of jet ski operators that was locked up for rape, but none was never convicted. You could Google that. You could Google the statistics on that.
American visitor Caleb Blankenship is unfazed by the advisory.
I told them they got to come here and visit because they would see, how it is here, and it's amazing here. It's like I would live here if I could.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Now, of course, jet ski operators are not new to this. They've been hearing this for some time. And it's interesting, United States, they tend to, for any little thing, they will issue a advisory for, and you can't blame them. They're responsible for protecting their people, and somehow it always seems to impact either straw vendors, straw braiders, water taxi operators, taxi drivers, Arawa key vendors. These people, it always seems to impact them because of alleged concerns. Nonetheless, we recognize it is our bread and butter, and that means that we have to be extra cautious to ensure that there are policies and procedures in place and ensure the safety of visitors who are going to utilize the businesses and services of our people when they're here in the country. So nonetheless, jet ski operators will get over this and get through this. They just got to make sure they're absolutely compliant. I'm rushing to get through because we got a packed show tonight. Also on the show tonight is Leon Williams. You've heard that name before. He used to be the CEO of BTZ, but he's doing some big things for the Bahamas now on an international level and representing us around the world. We're going to talk to him about that closer to the end of the show. But of course, you know what you're here for. Up next, the chairman of the Free National Movement. We're going to put all thanks to him. He's here. He doesn't have a toothache, doesn't have a bellyache. He came, and if he has those things, he's brave enough to ride out the storm with me, despite what aches and pains. He's getting a little old, so he may have some aches and pains, but nonetheless, he put on his Buckleys and whatever to keep those aches from cranking up, and he's ready to talk to us. Right after this break, you're watching The Rundown here on the ZNS Network. We're back with the chairman of the FNM right after this.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
back to the Rundown. It's good to have all of you with us. Those of you who are watching us in the Lion's Den, good to have you. Those of you watching on YouTube, whether it's around the Family Islands, Turks and Caicos, also in the region and around the world internationally, welcome to the Rundown. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Well, the Opposition Free National Movement headlining national news this week as one of its former parliamentarians, Hiram Lewis, announced in the House of Assembly yesterday that he has officially left the party and joined the Coalition of Independents. Now, reports state that he wasn't satisfied with the party's leadership or its future. Then today, local Daily is reporting that FNM leader Michael Pintard informed Killarney MP and former Prime Minister, the Most Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, that he will not be renominated for the next general election. We made attempts today to get an answer from Dr. Minnis on this issue, but that proved unsuccessful. So we're going to get some real answers tonight. One person can give us the answers to all of that. And that's why we always have you covered on the Rundown, because we bring the people who can actually answer the questions. And answering the questions tonight is the chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands. Sir, welcome to the Rundown. This is your first time in the Rundown.
You never invited me, you know? I feel some kind of way.
You didn't start out showing this. But I've invited you now.
Congratulations on what has been a successful show, you know?
Thank you. But I guess it'll be more successful now that you've touched and graced us here on the set of the Rundown.
You know, you had a no-show last night, but we won't talk about that.
No, but you know, his teeth, we're hoping, wishing him. We do wish. Right here, camera 4. Right here, camera 4. We do like to wish y'all ain't going to camera. Come, bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. We'd like to wish. Thank you. Thank you. We'd like to wish Mr. Hiram Lewis a speedy recovery with his dental challenge, and we do hope that he is able to recover quickly and will talk with us. We wish you well, sir. There you go. All right. So, your face said a whole story just now. So let's start right there. Hiram Lewis. He's now COI. He said that FNM is not the FNM that he thought it was, and that it has changed, and that he could not stay. What's the story? What's the story? He's gone. What's the story?
Well, let me first of all thank Mr. Hiram Lewis for his service to country and to the Free National Movement. He was a standard bearer in 2017, won his seat then. He won again in 2021. He served as a minister in the Minnis Cabinet, and we thank him for his contributions. He has made a personal decision that he could no longer remain in the Free National Movement, and so having resigned from the organization now, he has moved over to the COI, and we'll see how that works for the future. The Free National Movement and our leader, Michael Pintard, we are seriously focused on dealing with a changing world. The world as we know it, whether you like it or don't like it, is different than it was. Bahamians are looking for progressive ideas, visionary ideas, and they want appropriate leadership that I believe resides in Michael Pintard and the team that he is putting together. I don't believe that Mr. Lewis was a good fit for that team.
You don't believe?
Certainly, that was the message that we received from his constituency association.
Right, you said it in your statement.
And as such, I believe that he, understanding that, decided that it was time to set off for a different shore.
What was different? He ran twice, won twice. He was a part of the Free National Movement's last administration. What changed that didn't make him a good fit?
I think, you know, we have made it important to listen to the constituents, to our associations, to our association executives, party members, to the people. And having listened now, we have been advised that, look, we'd like a different standard bearer for the Free National Movement in a constituency which has historically supported the Free National Movement. As you know, one of the longest serving members of parliament in the history of the Bahamas, the Honorable Nico Grant, served in that constituency, I think, for 5 consecutive terms.
Correct.
And he has brought his brand of leadership back to the Free National Movement, assisting with our campaign, and we look forward to greater things, particularly in Grand Bahama. So as we populate the team in Marco City, in Pine Ridge, in Central Grand Bahama, in East Grand Bahama, and in West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Bahamians and Grand Bahamians and Biminites can expect a vibrant team. We are not about burning, we are about building. Okay, so we're not looking backwards. We are looking to see what can be done in order to bring new hope to the people of those areas and to the Bahamas in general.
Do you see it as a loss?
Let me put it this way. Anytime you have a divorce, you ask yourself, could things have been different? We wish Mr. Lewis well, but the party will rise again, and I believe that under Michael Pintard's leadership, we will win, with the help of the people of Grand Bahama, the seat of Central Grand Bahama. And I think we will win it resoundingly.
You brought into focus, well, not you, but another name that came into focus today, obviously, was Dr. Minnis. And there's speculation that he was told that he would not get the nomination. Can you confirm or deny that?
There's speculation. This is one of the big stories in town. I know, having spoken to my leader just a few hours ago, that he will be addressing this in a full-throated, direct way in very short order, within the next day or so. And so I am not minded to preempt.
Sure.
Understand that Dr. Minnis has served this country and served this organization with distinction. And we believe that he should play a very important role in the organization.
You believe that?
Yes. Now, what that role is going to be, wait until Michael Pintard has an opportunity to address the people of the Bahamas, the people of the world, about the way forward.
While you don't want to preempt him, has a decision been made already?
I believe that a decision has been made.
You believe?
I believe, and that's as far as I'm going to go. You know, I've been interviewed by Clint Watson before. Clint Watson comes from the north, he comes from the south, he comes from the east, he comes from the west.
No.
Okay? And all night long we could be talking about the same topic.
I get it. You got your marching orders. He can talk about it. You won't. I will respect that. I will respect that. But what is the image that Michael Pintard wants to project with this FNM, or can I say the new FNM? I don't want to say the new FNM, about the way forward. What is the message?
We got a message from the Bahamian population, from the electorate, that they were not happy with us. They want to know whether or not we have gotten that message loud and clear. They have also given a message that they are deeply disappointed. They have buyer's remorse with this New Day crew. A government that came in with great anticipation and who have overseen a return to a nation for sale, we have seen corruption become a part of the language of Bahamians. We have seen extravagance as we tax and spend. The whole issue of travel, which used to be a joke, is now a big, big problem. When Bahamians say, how can you spend $183 million on roads in West Grand Bahama when they don't even have $183 million worth of road in West Grand Bahama in a no-bid contract, okay, which is against the law.
The government is saying that wasn't approved. That's not happening.
It is on the website, on the official procurement.
But government says
so this is now the second $100-and-something million contract to a single company, the same company, or the same group of companies. And you got to ask, why was it necessary to go to no-bid contracts? What was the emergency? What was the exigency? What was it that caused this government to break the law, okay, and award a $183 million contract when you need fire trucks in Grand Bahama, when you need ambulances in Grand Bahama, when you have people catching all kind of hell in Grand Bahama and around the Bahamas? They didn't say, let's fix the RAN. They didn't say, let's fix the sterilizer at the RAN. They didn't say, let us buy 6 new ambulances. They say we can put $183 million
but is that
in roads.
Is that a fair assessment, Chairman?
It is a very fair assessment.
As you say that, I'm seeing the new ambulances that were bought that are parked right out next to CDU.
And no one could drive. No one could drive.
Next to CDU.
No one could drive.
They bought ambulances.
You know they've been there for 3 months and ain't no one drive them yet?
I've seen some of them on the road.
You know, I mean, I could drive a stick shift, right? But many of our drivers cannot.
And then we've also seen that we've heard. I spoke to the police chief in Grand Mama, who said, "Listen, two trucks are down. Parts have been ordered for them. They're going to be back up. We can control it."
Princess Margaret
They're building a new hospital in Grand Bahama.
No, they're not. They're building a clinic in Grand Bahama. Accident emergency. The minister on his feet promised us it would be finished by November of 2024. Then at the Christmas walkabout with the Governor General, he said, oh, it'll be done without fail in January, okay? Now it's May. Having walked through that site, I could tell you, and you could quote me on this, it will not be finished before August or September of 2020.
You don't think it will be?
I don't think. I am saying categorically to the people of the Bahamas, it will not be finished.
What's the holdup?
They spend the money. They spend the money on something else. They spend the money on travel. They spend, you know, when you spend $58 million in 3.5 years of travel, okay? And you can't find the money to finish accident emergency. The kitchen at Princess Margaret Hospital broke down, closed. They got to bring food in styrofoam from the College of the Bahamas, University of the Bahamas. That shows a level of contempt for the people of the Bahamas, for your mummy, my daddy, my Grammy, etc. Come eat some cold food because we want to spend the money on something else. We want to give no-bid contracts to people. When you say that we can sell off the patrimony, BPL, in some shady deals that nobody knows the details, and you're going to give particular high-flying, big-wig donors to your organization a sweet contract, right? Not the people of the Bahamas, not shares. It says that you have a level of contempt for the average Bahamian. Michael Pintard recognizes that
I want to address what you
that.
just said, because as you're saying that, I'm having deja vu of the FNM administration. And I'm having deja vu of the same accusations were made against the FNM administration about giving deals, secret deals to its donors. People talk about the food program and the big donors and the FNM that got the food program. You were the Minister of Health when there were concerns about scandals and corruption, even going to a court. And you were Minister of Health, sir. You were the Minister of Health.
When you have
how is it that
$1 billion deal to sell off rights, leasing the rights to mooring in the most pristine waters of the world to somebody in the office of the Prime Minister, okay? And a staff member, a deputy communications secretary, she probably worked for you at some point in time.
Thank God she didn't.
Okay? Signed off on this. And the Prime Minister says to the Bahamian people, I finished with that. We ain't talking about that no more. That is corruption.
So let me ask you, and I'm not saying yes it is or no it isn't. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you, and I'm accepting what you're saying. But my question still remains: you don't see it as biting your own tongue?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because
you raised the question.
5 years ago, you were part of an administration that was accused of the same and you're right. Bahamian people are tired of it because it seems as if you bounce back and forth and there are concerns. And I think what people are finding hard to digest, Sir Chairman, is the fact that, okay, here are the same people pointing fingers at this administration who many Bahamians have not yet digested, that they've gone through the same thing with them, and they've been levied the same kind of corrupt, for lack of better words, and Bahamians are now left there saying, well, what do we do?
So let me answer this very directly, and forgive me if I use a football analogy, okay? So there are certain franchises that people support. In the Bahamas, we like, in football, we like the Dolphins. I don't know why, but we do, okay?
Close to the Bahamas, Miami.
But the Dolphins of the 1970s are not the Dolphins of this era, okay? And yet it's the same team. But as you move, it's under new management.
Yes.
So the Pindling era was certainly different than the Christie era.
Yes.
The Ingram era is different than the Minnis era. And so even though you're talking about the Free National Movement, what Michael Pintard and his leadership team understands is that we have to give Bahamian people real hope for change. Because right now, Bahamians are looking on and saying that we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis, a crime crisis, that educational opportunities for our children are not there. And so they want to know in real terms, what are you going to offer? And is this going to be a contractual obligation, or is it just going to be a nice glossy sheet of paper whereby you put 6 million promises down and you don't intend to keep any? That is how you have to deal with the problem that Bahamian people have, where they have become so disgusted with the political process.
Yeah.
Okay?
He, as leader of the Free National Movement, has to also deal with the fact that he was a member of the last F&M administration.
As was I.
As was you.
And as you know, I resigned, right?
You resigned, yes. You have that you can say. Yes, you resigned. But that still means that there is still some, just how you said, buyer's remorse as to whether things will be the same. And I get it. He's trying to surround himself with candidates who perhaps may take people's minds off the past F&M administration and maybe give some hope of a new F&M administration. But at the end of the day, it's still the same people who support the party, the same donors who are backing the party, the same mandates of what must be delivered.
Those people are us.
He still has to be faced with, do I run Dr. Minnis or do I not run Dr. Minnis? If I don't run him, then they may say to people that I'm clear-cut and charting my own course. I'm moving away from the Minnis era. But if I do run him, then you know, I may get the support of people who may ordinarily walk away. I feel bad for him because I realize it's a tough decision he's going to have to make as to what image he wants to project about the F&M. Do you plan on running again?
Yes.
Are you going to run Elizabeth again?
We'll see.
Why we'll see?
I am campaigning in Elizabeth, and we have not identified who is going to run where. And I know that this is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Who are going to be the ratified candidates for each of the constituencies?
Some people say you're even checking out Yamakura.
As we put, they say plenty things. They say I checking out Long Island. I checking out.
I heard that too.
South Beach. I checking out Tall Pines. I checking out all.
You looking for whatever
the
available.
Chairman of the Free National Movement, and I need to make sure that we present a viable team to the Bahamian people, so that ultimately, by the grace of God and the support of the people of the Bahamas, we win the next general election and free the people from this bondage. Okay? We have a gentleman that they used to call brave, that we now recognize as Philip, who has taken his eye off the ball. And he has no control over his cabinet. You have a bunch of people doing this and a bunch of people doing that. They are in the midst of a civil war, which, if you know, people talk about unity in the Free National Movement. Well, don't try to get the speck out of our eye. Deal with the log in yours. And so they are very happy. They, meaning the PLP, are very happy when there's even the slightest little skirmish in the F&M, because it takes away from the incredible scrutiny at their disastrous performance on whatever front. Look at the abuse that the people of Eleuthera have suffered. No electricity, no water, okay? No internet. Not for days, not for weeks, not for months, but for a straight year. One excuse after the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. They have, for all intents and purposes, said to the people of Eleuthera, you all could go to hell. We're not interested in you having any reason to bathe your skin, to flush the toilet, or to have water to wash your clothes.
Is that true, though? Because,
it is absolutely
the reason
true.
why, again, because as journalists, we cover these stories, right? And we cover what they are trying. And again, these are legacy issues that both administrations struggled with.
Okay, let's
these aren't new to this administration.
Okay, let's use a new one.
They were having challenges from the F&M administration.
The Prime Minister, my Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, after they came in, said that the shelter in Abaco would be a priority.
Right.
Then you remember the roof fell down. You say, boy, we can fix this. Okay? 4 years later, the shelter still ain't finished. Okay? Still ain't finished.
Right.
Now he gone big and brassy as Billy, talking about heads can roll in exactly those words. Well, what has been the oversight? What has been the desire to get this project finished? What about the woman's shelter? Okay? We acknowledge that we have a problem with abuse of women and children. You could spend $58 million traveling, but you can't spend $500,000 to build a woman's shelter. That shows a level of contempt for the Bahamian people.
When we look at what's going on in the country, and I think so many people may talk about it, I said it before on this show, that we have to credit every administration from the time I think that we've been an independent country. Every government, I believe, has contributed to the improvement of our country, every country. And they all have had their challenges as well.
And every prime minister has, every single one of them.
They've all contributed, even though we all argue and say who was ineffective, who didn't do anything. I think they've all contributed to it. Do you believe that the Bahamian electorate is changing every year and is now looking differently? Before, I mean, when 20 years ago people voted, it was just you vote based on what your family vote or you vote based on parties. But it seems to be evolving every year, and a different kind of voter is emerging out of the Bahamian politics.
We used to say that there were some voters that didn't know who Pindling was, okay? Now there's some voters that don't know who Ingram was.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
And getting to the point where they don't really know who Christie was.
No.
Okay?
Yeah, it's changing.
And so, whereas mommy or granddaddy or grandmommy would say, well, when you go in the ballot box, this is how you're going to vote.
Yeah.
A lot of these young people, they on that run. No. I'm going to do me. Okay? So, I started my comments tonight by the fact that the world is changing, and it's changing dramatically. We watched the stock market crash by 4+% today. We're watching some things that we thought would never happen in the world happen. Okay? Germany, which had to de-arm after World War II and Hitler, now may become a nuclear entity. Japan, after World War II. So the world is changing, and this is happening in our lifetime. These young people are saying, what have you done for me lately? What's in this for me? What's in this Bahamas for me? And every time they see 500+ retirees come back, I got my degree, I got my master's, I might even have my PhD, but you don't have anything for me to do? Well, I am going to farm out my talent to the United States, to Canada, to Great Britain, or elsewhere, and I'm going to demonstrate to you just how incredibly brilliant and creative I am. We have to create a Bahamas that is inviting to these young people. And I believe Michael Pintard and the leadership team that he is putting together understands that. He is cut from a different cloth, okay? People criticize the fact that he comes from the orange economy, okay? Well, perhaps that's the level of creativity that we need. Perhaps that's the kind of medicine that we want. And once you surround yourself with persons who understand that this is not about self, this is not about me getting rich, this is about making a difference in the lives of the people we're privileged to serve. Boy, now we're talking about a Bahamas that we relive the anticipation of 67 again, or the anticipation of 92 again. We're in for a revolution. And boy, that's exciting.
Let's go to a break. We'll be back with it. Dr. Dwayne Sands, Chairman of the Free National Movement, right after this from the Rundown. Good stuff.
Let's go. At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Welcome back to the Rundown. My guest tonight is leader of the chairman of the Free National Movement.
Correct that on the record.
Chairman
Thank you.
of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands. Oh, forgive me there, sir. I'm just talking about the party positioning itself for the next general elections. Do you believe that you're able to retain seats that have been safe seats when you put new candidates in it? For example, like Killarney, do you believe you're going to be able to retain these seats?
I believe that both traditional major parties enjoy certain seats that have endured the test of time. Long Island, except for one time when an independent held that seat, has remained with the Free National Movement. St. Anne's. Engliston, on the other hand, as hard as we have tried, but we can win it this lap. Okay?
You think so?
Well, we can try. We're going to try.
Nothing beats a try.
It used to be that Bain and Grandstown was thought to be...
Right, and we've seen that change.
And we saw that change. And then there are some bellwether seats like South Beach and Fort Charlotte, and so on. What is clear, I believe, is that the electorate is already saying they are ready to roll this crew out. Okay? Now, that is not a foregone conclusion that they are ready to roll us in.
Right.
And we have to earn the trust. This is about trust. This is about sincerity. This is about, you cannot be about business as usual. What is the promise? Okay? And while populist messages are popular, and we've seen that in the United States and Great Britain and elsewhere, people want to know the granular details of what it is that you're going to do with healthcare, what it is that you're going to do with education. So in healthcare now, I think that Bahamians feel that the product that we call healthcare in our public health systems and our acute care hospitals leaves a lot to be desired. Okay? They've heard this promise about a brand new hospital, and they ain't buying it. Okay? When you talk about energy, they want cleaner, safer, but less expensive energy.
But people are talking about their power bills going down.
Yeah, because it's winter. It's winter.
You think that's the reason why the power bill is less?
If you look at the cost per kilowatt hour and the fuel surcharge, it has not gone down. And so, you know, the problem is that this administration, having failed to hedge and having failed to do the things that they needed to do with energy, resulted in Bahamian people paying more than $160 million more in energy costs over the last 2.5 years than they should have. That is a direct consequence of the decisions of Philip Davis, Alfred Sayers, and Jo Beth Colby Davis.
Are there any successes that the government has achieved for the Bahamian people that the FNM has supported or said, yes, this is a good thing? Or has it always been opposing for opposing's sake?
No, we don't oppose for opposing's sake. So, you know, we've applauded the school food program, okay? I have honestly tried to look at the successes of this administration, and I'm sorry, there's very little that you can point to. There's no infrastructure to speak of. There's no school that's been built. There's no prison that was promised and not built.
You talk about schools and prison.
There's no, hold on.
Let's go ahead.
This administration said, we're going to build a new prison.
Right.
This administration said, we are going to build a new airport.
So you're marketing based on what they committed
based
to
on
doing.
what they said, okay? The blueprint for change said some specific things.
Correct.
80%, maybe 70% of what is in that blueprint for change has not been accomplished.
They've said the opposite. They've said 80% to 70% has been accomplished.
Let's talk about transparency on environmental matters, and let's get back to the Exuma seabed lease. $1 billion going into the private hands. A Michael Pintard-led F&M administration will make sure that those benefits accrue to the people of the Bahamas.
But wasn't that project stopped?
Yeah, after they got caught.
But
after they signed the contract.
I think at the end of the day,
signed the contract.
I think at the end of the day, what I think we have to acknowledge is it didn't happen. The Bahamian people did not lose. You can't call something corrupt if it changes and does not happen.
So if you thief and I catch you thiefing and you say no, I can put it back now. So you want credit for that now?
No, a good point. That's a good analogy.
Prime Minister
but it has
of
to
the
be that I've
Bahamas
stolen.
Signed the contract.
It has to be that I've stolen.
Signed the contract. Somebody in his office witnessed the contract. It went to the benefit, I am advised, to a senior advisor in the office of the Prime Minister, a company owned by such an individual. And we are to give them credit for that.
So if you believe that this was a crime, then why hasn't a Free National Movement taken legal action against what has been done?
You know, that's a wonderful idea, and I think this latest $183 million overspend ought to be subjected to...
But it wasn't spent.
Proposed. Overspend,
yes.
Contract award. Let's take it to judicial review. Ask the justices to look at it. Because already we know that it is a direct violation of the Procurement Act of the Bahamas. Okay? You accept that?
I won't. I won't say because we're still waiting on the facts from it. That's what we're waiting on.
Procurement
what transpired
in the Bahamas requires that it go out to bid, to tender, that there's a process to follow. Now, there are exceptional circumstances where you can bypass that, but it is the norm and not the exception that this administration has decided that this is what they're going to do. And they take these liberties, like when you fly down to Bermuda on a private jet, you pay for it out of the public treasury, and then you promise to pay the public treasury back, and you never pay the public treasury back. Never, never, never. And then you promise that you are going to give, I think there was a director in the office of the Prime Minister, I don't know what his name was, Watson or something, that was there. And he promised that we would get an update.
And that's why he can verify that it was paid back. He can verify it was paid back.
But we never got the report by the public.
You didn't want to accept the report.
We heard you got $30,000. Anyway. But, you know, Watson has moved on, and he's a big fish at ZNS now. And my host, and I'm going to have to be gracious to my host who's been gracious.
You've learned well over the years. Let's talk about, as you go into the campaign, what is the message that the Free National Movement, your strategy really, I should say, that you're doing now? Last time there was an election, there was COVID, people couldn't really go door to door and campaign. What are you doing now? Are you asking people to go on the ground and talk to the people? What are you doing?
Absolutely, door to door, on the ground. That is where I think we have an opportunity to talk to people, to meet people, to understand what they're feeling, and to not only listen to them, but to speak with them. So as I move about Elizabeth, and I talk with people there, and as other people move about different constituencies, the public, you know, they don't mince words. They tell you how they feel.
Of course.
They tell you whether they like you or they don't like you.
Yep.
They tell you to come out my yard or come sit down, let me give you some
It's not for the faint. You got to have strong. You got to be strong and do these things.
But I believe the reception has been good. We recognize that we have more work to do. We don't shy away from that.
Yeah.
And the mistakes that were made in the past, we have to get people to understand that the Free National Movement vision and version of 2025 is world-class and, championship winning. And we believe, by the grace of God, that whenever election is called, Michael Pintard will be the next Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Candidates, is there a time frame to begin announcing and releasing candidates?
We will release the names of the first 20. I imagine no later than, this is April, certainly no later than the 1st of May.
That soon?
Yes. So we are well on the way. So here's the process. Someone self-identifies. They take the course. They fill out an application. They are vetted. They're vetted not only by the contents of their application, but by their financial disclosure. Did Dr. Sands thief some money? Did he have bills that he didn't disclose, and so on and so forth? All right? Once that vetting is done, a recommendation is made to the Candidate Selection Committee, which is the executive committee of the party, who then ultimately, in communication with the Constituency Association executives, who say, we want Tom, we want Dick, we want Harry, we want Mary, we want Susie. There's a discussion and an agreement. This is who we're going to be, and then ultimately ratification comes from the Central Council of the Free National Movement. That's the process.
Once that happens, some may be disappointed, some may be obviously happy. How does a party ensure that all hands are on deck at the end of the day?
The Free National Movement, contrary to what some may be saying, is united under Michael Pintard. Yes, there are pockets of persons who would wish that there were a different leader, but we have already moved beyond that point. We then we complete our vision, our manifesto. We are in the process of crafting that, having done 2 years of work in telecommunications, in technology, in environment, in health, and so on and so forth, in national security. We then ratify the platform. And then we roll it out. It's not going to be a 100-page glossy platform. It's going to be some things that provides the basis of a contract with the Bahamian people. And we would like people to say, this is what you said you would do. This is what you did. We give you a 4 out of 5, 80 out of 100, or 85. That is the matter of trust we're talking about.
All right. We're out of time, Dwayne Sands. I'll give you the final word. What do you want to say to the Bahamian people?
Thank you very much, first for the privilege of talking to you and to your wide audience. The Free National Movement recognizes that the world and the Bahamas has changed, that we need a vision that provides opportunity for participatory opportunities to own a part of the economy, to be able to live in security and safety, to have your children educated, to have access to good quality health care, that we need to secure our borders. Michael Pintard and his leadership team recognizes that, and that's the type of Bahamas that will be a part of unstoppable change.
All right, there you have it. Chairman of the Free National Movement, Dwayne Sands. Thank you so much for coming, sir. You definitely get invited back.
I look forward to it.
You got to come back.
I look forward.
We'll have you back, definitely. Thank you so much, sir. Stay with us when we come back. We talk to Leon Williams about putting the Bahamas on a map for telecommunications. We're back after this. Stay close.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Striping, a Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'd expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Welcome back to The Rundown. Welcome back. It's so good to have all of you with us. Listen, ain't nobody like my people in the Lion's Den on Facebook. They have the hottest, livest discussions in the Lion's Den. I even, you know, while the chairman was talking, I started responding a little something. I like to get involved in a conversation. I can multitask. I can host a show and talk to my people in the Lion's Den. So y'all are the best. Y'all are the absolute best. Those who are positive, those who don't like me, those who like me, all of y'all, nonetheless, I'm sending much love to all of y'all. It's always good to have you join us and appreciate your conversation. You want a lit conversation? Watch the show from the Lion's Den. It's hilarious. Anyway, you may remember him as the former Bahamas Telecommunications Company Chief Executive Officer, but now Leon Williams is the non-resident ambassador to the International Telecommunication Union. Yeah, that's the thing. That's a real thing. The Bahamas has a long-standing relationship with the ITU since becoming a member in 1974 and a member of the ITU Council 2019 to 2023 term for the Americas region. The telecommunications expert was elected twice to serve as chairman of CANTO, an association made up of information telecommunications technology, ICTs, for the telecommunications sector in the Caribbean and Americas. Ambassador Williams joins us tonight on what he's been doing to promote the Bahamas telecommunications sector on an international level. Sir, welcome to The Rundown. And this only could be an introduction because there is no way you and I will get through this conversation in 5 minutes.
This seat is still hot. It's been hot all week.
It's fire. It's fire. They're keeping the fire burning.
I asked Alto, why me? Why am I the sacrificial lamb here tonight?
But at least we get to start the conversation. I promise our audience we'll bring it back to expand more. But let's talk about your role, because people may not have even known that existed, right? What is the purpose of what it is that you do?
Well, we have to go back a little bit in history. The telegraph was invented back in 1839. And then the cable was run from UK to France. Once that happened, it created major difficulties. How do you charge for tariffs? How do you make sure that there's interoperability between what the French was doing with the... And so 20 states got together back then and decided, let's set up some codes. Let's set up the Morse code, the telegraph code, so there'll be interoperability. And that formed the International Telegraph Union. Then the telephone came around in 1876, and they ended up with the International Telegraph and Telephone. So now you had to set up how the phones would operate, and you had to set up the settlement rates. For example, back then, they mandated that the limit, the units of measurement for a telephone call was 5 minutes. I don't know if you remember, you're too young to remember the booths at BTC.
I remember.
And it was a 3-minute call by then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
I used to go with my grandmother. We used to go for walk from her house to the telecommunications office for her to use the phone, and I used to go with it. I was an outing for us to go to BT, the telco back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also they limit the amount of time that you could talk. You could only talk for 10 minutes.
Correct.
Particularly if people were online. All this was set up by the ITU, the International Telecommunications. So the International Telecommunications then became an agency, the Agency of Telecommunications for the United Nations, which means that the ITU is 80 years older than the United Nations, because the United Nations didn't come around until after World War II. And so what we have celebrating on the 4th May next month, it'll be the 160th anniversary of telecommunications.
Wow.
But listen, if you go back, and it's sad that people don't know the story of the relationship between the ITU and the Bahamas, because on its 100th anniversary, back in 1965, the Bahamas took out a stamp, a postage stamp, to celebrate the anniversary, 100-year anniversary of the ITU. Back then, and this is before independence, once the Bahamas got independence in 1973 and became a member of the Commonwealth, and then it applied to become a member of the United Nations in 73. Then, once they got accepted as a member of the United Nations, they were able to apply to become a member of the ITU, which is an agency of the United Nations responsible for telecommunications. But even before that, as a colony, we were still satisfying the requirements, building our systems according to the ITU rules.
Why is it important for the Bahamas to be a part of these international organizations for telecommunications?
Because right now, today, the Bahamas has a seat on council. So the world is divided, 194 nations, divided up into 5, I suppose, regions.
Right.
We are part of the Americas. So the Caribbean is part of the Americas. In the Americas, there are 9 seats assigned to the 48-seat council that runs the United Nations. The Bahamas carries the flag for Canto, and let me say CARICOM. So the CTU. Right. So when we go to Barbados, and the plenipotentiary is coming up in 2026, so we've got staff right now from ERCA down in Uruguay trying to set the road path for the 2026 elections and what will happen. So I go to Geneva in June for a council meeting. I'll be representing CARICOM and putting forth the issues. What has happened is that you end up with these large countries, and let me just say this, Clint. In 2022 in Bucharest, when we took the 9 candidatures for the Americas to Bucharest to get elected to council, the United States, the Bahamas, Mexico, Brazil, Cuba's always a shoo-in. I can say to you that the Bahamas, out of the 193 votes that was possible, got the 4th highest vote.
Wow.
Argentina got 170, Mexico and Brazil got 164, the Bahamas got 163. The Bahamas got more votes to get on council than the United States, Canada, Spain, France, all this. So the Bahamas is a brand. So why we want to be there? Because every decision made, whether it's the 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G that is being alpha and beta tested at 5G right now.
6G?
Yes. 5.5G, I saw it tested in Barcelona. They're experimenting with it. Wi-Fi, satellites in space. As you know, 23,000 miles around the Earth. You got these low orbiting satellites put in. So there's just limited space for satellites to go up. And so the ITU makes the decision where the satellites are parked. So everything that you have, your television, your phone, I brought this just as a prop to show you that if you've got an iPhone 15 or a Samsung, your phone, you don't have to ask somebody, do they have an iPhone charger? Because an iPhone charger will fit a Samsung phone. A Samsung charger will fit an iPhone.
Wow.
A Samsung and iPhone charger will now charge your laptop. You can now take your laptop charger and charge your phone.
Wow. That's the advancement of technology.
That is the advancement. That is some of the things that the ITU in terms of standardization, interoperability. Because what happens is when new systems come out, so you take your phone, when cellular first came to the Bahamas in 1988 and 89, you couldn't roam. Because, for example, the Bahamas are operating at the 800 megahertz.
I remember that. People could not use
Then we went to GSM, and we were operating at 1900. Trinidad was at 1800. So Batelco had to build two networks. You had to have the GSM network and the CDMA network.
I remember.
Because people coming from Verizon had a different technology. So there was no interoperability. Now you have a phone, your phone now had what they call it, quad frequency. This phone will roam any part of the world that you go to.
Correct.
It's all set up by the ITU. So you want to be able to have a seat at the table for decision making. The Caribbean, we've got a couple of issues. For example, Trinidad, in this concert coming up in June, has an issue in Trinidad that they're looking at for this, we call them SIDS, Small Island Development States. We're fishermen. If you recall, back in the days, when cellular first came to the Bahamas, we built the towers as tall as we could. We put the antennas for cellular as high as we could. We pumped out as much power as we could. We had the brick telephones this size to your ear, and fishermen could receive cellular service way out at sea.
Right.
Then the new technology came around, 4G, and we started doing sectorization of the antennas, lower the antennas to get capacity, reduce the radiation power, so fishermen can't get access no longer to services from there. And that's a major problem in Trinidad and in the Leeward Islands and in the Windward Islands. They claim that 94% of the fishing catch comes from these small fishes, but they are not being connected. And the ITU is saying that, listen, the job of the ITU is to make sure that everyone in the world, all 8+ billion people, get connected. But sad to say, we have 2.6 billion people still disconnected, have never used the internet in the world today.
Wow.
As popular as phones are, as popular as the internet.
We're out of time. I got to cut you back here because we're already 5 minutes over. And it's already it's gone. But there's so much I want to talk to you about, because I want to talk about really how it impacts the Bahamas, how it impacts our networks, how, you know, technology, are we behind? Are we keeping pace? Are we ahead? What should we expect next in the trends? That's what I'm going to call you back to talk about, because we need to discuss as to where we're headed, what kind of trends can we see in the Bahamas, and technology. So we're definitely going to have you come back.
I said it. The big boy says this will disappear.
Really?
Yeah. So I saw the testing. You're going to be using wearables, your eyeglasses. This will be in the past.
You're going to look old if you walk around with this. That's where we're headed.
And the next thing is direct to bypassing the telcos and going from satellite direct to your phone.
Seriously?
That's a heart attack.
Leon Wiggins, Ambassador Leon.